Chapter 49-79. On the other side, the giant golden crow and the giant evil phoenix continued to clash in the sky. All of them were close-range fighters. This kind of battle caused the sky to explode with resplendent flames. Only these two fellows had flown high into the sky. Otherwise, the battle between the two of them would definitely affect the other martial artists. In terms of top-notch experts, the humans did not seem to be at a disadvantage. However, in terms of the number of divine physique echelon 6th stage and 5th stage divine physique echelon 5th stage, there was a huge difference between the two sides. The heaven's sacred ground had more 5th and 6th level divine physique echelon martial artists than any other force in the 4 regions and 9 worlds. However, there wouldn't be more than 100 5th level divine physique echelon cultivators. As for those at the 6th level of the divine physique echelon, there were only about 20 of them. This was completely incomparable to the undead army. There were more than 100 6th level divine physique echelon experts in the undead army. It was 5 times that of the humans. There were also close to 300 5th level divine physique echelon experts, which was 3 times the number of the humans. This meant that the human experts had to fight one against 2, or even several of them. Originally, Ling Xiao had ordered the Gold Sage martial artists to deal with the 12 7th level divine physique echelon undead experts. However, in reality, the 10 Gold Saint martial artists had to deal with the undead at the 7th level of the divine physique echelon as well as the 6th level of the divine physique echelon. One person would have to face at least 2 opponents. Of course, this was also something they were willing to do, because holding back one more powerhouse would reduce the losses on the side of the human ancient martial art practitioners. But even so, the undead army had an obvious advantage. There were still many 5th and 6th level divine physique echelon experts who were crazily slaughtering like wolves in a flock of sheep. Who would have thought that Holy Rain, would fall here? At this moment, Sheng Yu and Lang Qingqing were in a very dangerous situation. The two of them were originally working together to deal with an early stage, 7th level divine physique echelon undead expert. They were already at a disadvantage to begin with, but in the end there were still 2 undead experts at the 6th level of the divine physique echelon realm pouncing over. Xing Yu and Lang Qingqing were both injured. He was extremely weak. Die. The undead expert at the early stage of the 7th level divine physique echelon sneered. Raising its sharp claws, it charged toward Xing Yu. At this moment, Xing Yu was seriously injured. There was no way to avoid it, and there was no way to defend against it. You want me to die? Then I'll take you down with me. Shen Yu knew that it was impossible for him to block this attack. Therefore, he thought of self-destructing. The self-destruction of a 6th level divine physique echelon expert was still extremely terrifying. Even if it couldn't kill the other party, it could definitely make the other party lose all ability to fight. This way, even if he died, he could rest in peace. You want to self-destruct? No way. The strength of an undead expert was truly formidable. It was actually able to suppress the energy fluctuations of the Holy Rain. This caused Shang Yu's body to be unable to accumulate energy. It couldn't store up energy or self-destruct. This made Shang Yu extremely gloomy. At this moment, a terrifying frost divine dragon appeared out of thin air. He swallowed the undead expert and the few 6th level divine physique echelon undead martial artists in one gulp. Seeing this, Xing Yu knew that the opportunity had come, although he did not know what this frost divine dragon that had suddenly appeared was, but it was definitely Ling Zhao's doing. Thus, the divine sword in his hand flew out. This was an emperor weapon with 9 dragon patterns. It instantly pierced through the head of the early stage 7th level divine physique echelon expert. Kill him. After that, Xing Yu swallowed a healing elixir and went back into the battle with Lang Qingqing. Ling Xiao was facing the great devil emperor at this moment. But don't forget about his powerful soul power. He could still control the array to attack at the same time. In addition, he could multitask. He had been observing the situation around him all along. Releasing the Frost Divine Dragon at the crucial moment to help Shang Yu kill the strong opponent was crucial to the change of the battle situation. Xingyu, you're the future sacred lord of the heaven, sacred ground. Don't choose to self-destruct so easily. Just fight with all your might. I'll help. Ling Zhao's biggest advantage was that he was not afraid of group battles. The more enemies there were, the more useful he could be. This was probably something that Lotus Flower did not expect. This time, Lotus Flower had almost given his all and sent 90% of his undead army to the heaven, sacred ground. If Ling Xiao could lead the heaven, sacred ground to victory in this battle, then Lotus Flower's undead army would be completely unthreatened. Therefore, Ling Xiao had to win this battle. Kid, you dare to help others when facing my attack. You're very arrogant. The great Devil Emperor's expression was very ugly. Although Ling Xiao had helped Xingyu and Lang Qingqing, he did not use any divine origin martial techniques. He only relied on his soul power to control the array to attack. Therefore, it did not affect the battle with the great Devil Emperor at all. He did not expose any flaws. It was impossible for the great Devil Emperor to find any flaws. The great Devil Emperor flew into a rage out of humiliation and suddenly took out a spiked club. It looked like a crude weapon, but it was a real Emperor weapon with 9 dragon inscriptions. When it was used by the great Devil Emperor's huge body, its power was terrifyingly great. Almost every attack was like a mountain smashing towards Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao blocked while looking for an opportunity. Finally, he found a trace of an opportunity. Cosmic Light, Divine Fist, time stop! After blocking so many attacks, Ling Xiao's mouth was already bleeding. In terms of raw power, the great Devil Emperor was still a bit stronger, but the great Devil Emperor had forgotten to defend. Doing this while fighting Ling Xiao was simply fatal, an instant of opportunity. Ling Xiao used a martial technique. With the great Devil Emperor as the center, everything within 3 meters stopped. Only Ling Xiao could move in this frozen world. The Void God sword had already gathered a powerful attack, and then it shot out. Oh no! Before the great Devil Emperor stopped, he only said 2 words. One could see the panic in his eyes. Chi! The Void God sword released 7 sword flashes, all of which stabbed into the great Devil Emperor's body. In order to prevent the great Devil Emperor from transferring the undead essence to another location, Ling Xiao's attack this time was not only aimed at the head. The rest of the body was also taken care of. But the great Devil Emperor's body was a bit too big. His defense was also a bit too strong. 3 seconds passed in the blink of an eye. The great Devil Emperor's body exploded, but it was not completely destroyed. Many places were still intact. What a pity! Ling Xiao sighed softly and instantly used the golden light spell to dodge. He knew that the moment time stop ended, the other party would definitely attack. In the blink of an eye, the giant Devil Emperor's body returned to normal. You dare to hurt me, you're courting death. Great Devil King domain. The great Devil Emperor was furious. In that instant, he released a strange domain. It instantly covered an area of 1/2 kilometer. Within this range, everyone was still, including Ling Xiao. You think you're the only one who can control time? I can too. Go to hell. The great Devil Emperor completely ignored everyone else and arrived in front of Ling Xiao in an instant. And then the mace suddenly smashed down. Chapter 4980. Bang! A horrifying roar sounded out. Even if Ling Xiao's defensive power was incomparably powerful, he also vomited out a large mouthful of blood at this instant. The instant he suffered the attack, Ling Xiao felt that his body could already move, but he was seriously injured. He had no choice but to use the vertical golden light art to dodge again. Urging divine essence with all his might, His injuries healed in an instant. But the consumption was considerable. Fortunately, his divine essence total was enough. Fortunately, he had potential cells. Otherwise, just this blow, even if he could recover, he would also completely lose his combat strength. 5 seconds is it. Ling Xiao wiped the bloodstains on his face and looked at the great Devil Emperor in the distance, his expression not too good. Within the great Devil Emperor's domain, Ling Xiao sensed that he was unable to move, unable to use soul force, unable to use divine essence. But his consciousness remained clear-headed. This was not like time stop, but more like some kind of immobilization technique. It could last for 5 seconds, even more formidable than his time stop. You're smart to actually guess it. The great Devil Emperor sneered and said, but so what if I guessed it? What can you change in 5 seconds? You didn't die this time, but next time it might not be. Is that so? Ling Xiao smiled and said, then let us wait and see whether it's your defeat or my death. He felt that breakthrough door in his body had a gap, smashed open, just because of that punch from the great Devil Emperor just now. This was also considered a blessing in disguise. As long as he could break through, he would completely surpass the great Devil Emperor. Hence, the most crucial thing right now was this. But the great Devil Emperor's attack was too powerful. That blow just now directly beat him half to death. This was still because he was in the state of the fused body. Otherwise, he would definitely be beaten into a bloody mist and scattered. Great Devil King domain. The great Devil Emperor gave a cold laugh and released his domain once more. This guy's domain did not seem to need a time interval. It was just that each time it consumed a large amount of divine essence. However, the great Devil Emperor himself had a lot of divine essence reserves. In addition, the 3 undead fruit trees were pouring energy into him with all their might, even abandoning the other undead experts. The great Devil Emperor wasn't worried at all that he didn't have enough spirit essence. Again, Ling Xiao frowned slightly. However, as he frowned, time also came to a standstill. The great Devil Emperor instantly appeared in front of Ling Xiao. The mace suddenly smashed down. He was aiming at Ling Xiao's head. He believed that Ling Xiao's head did not have such a strong defense. However, at this moment, something strange happened. A black lotus bloomed in the void. It instantly pierced through the spiked club and pierced into the great Devil Emperor's body. At that moment, the great Devil Emperor clutched his head and howled in pain. He could no longer swing the mace in his hand. However, this guy was also quite powerful. In this situation, he still realized that it was very dangerous to stay by Ling Xiao's side. He actually escaped far away in an instant. After a while, Ling Xiao could move again. The great Devil Emperor also stopped howling. However, it could be seen that the great Devil Emperor's injury this time was not small. Moreover, it was his soul that was injured. Although he was an undead, the great Devil Emperor's undead essence also contained an incomplete soul. If he was injured, he would also be in great pain. Why? Why? You can't use divine essence or soul power. What did you do? The great Devil Emperor did not understand how he was injured by Ling Xiao. This was simply inconceivable. Of course, Ling Xiao would not tell him. The moment before he was frozen, he released the black lotus treasure light. This was easy to say. However, it was very difficult to do. Perhaps other than him who had the Tai Chi eye, no one else could do it. The Tai Chi eye accurately captured the energy fluctuations and confirmed what the great Devil Emperor wanted to do. Then, Ling Xiao was able to release the black lotus treasure light a second before. Because the frozen time was only 5 seconds, the great Devil Emperor had to rush to his side immediately. When the black lotus treasure light was released, it became very easy to injure the great Devil Emperor. Perhaps the great Devil Emperor could be reborn after his body was destroyed. However, once the soul was injured, it could not be recovered. Looking at Ling Xiao, the great Devil Emperor's expression was very unsightly. He realized that even if he had the powerful Great Devil King domain, he still could not do anything to this kid. This kid was simply too crafty. He had to think of a safe method. Otherwise, he was afraid that he would really lose this battle. Ling Xiao's side temporarily held a slight advantage. However, compared to his side, the Gold Saint's situation was much worse. As mentioned before, the undead army had more experts than the Heaven Holy Lands. These Gold Saints had to fight 1 against 2, or even 1 against 3, 1 against 4. The situation was extremely dangerous. Looking at this scene, Ling Xiao could not do anything. Although he could help a portion of the people, his ability was still limited. He could not change too much. On the human side, a large number of martial artists were being killed. Although they were very brave and worked very hard in front of a strong opponent, it did not have much meaning. Finally, even the Gold Saints were starting to suffer heavy injuries. In order to do something before they died, a large number of martial artists chose to self-destruct. They chose to perish together with the enemy. However, reality was too cruel. In 10 times, to succeed once was already the limit. Undead martial artists were definitely not weak existences. It was not easy to drag someone down with them. "Father, take revenge for me. Kill all the undead." Suddenly, Capricorn Constellation heard his son's roar. When he turned around to look, his son was already dead. Before his son died, he took an undead warrior with him, and they fell to the ground together. Bastard! Capricorn Constellation's eyes were bloodshot, but this moment of distraction was seized by his opponents, a total of 4 undead warriors. One of them was at the early stage of the 7th Heaven Divine Physique Realm, while the other 3 were at the peak of the 6th Heaven Divine Physique Realm. All of them pierced their sharp claws into his body. Puff! Capricorn Constellation spat out a mouthful of blood, but his face was brimming with a smile. "Son, father is here to accompany you." He suddenly started laughing maniacally. The huge body of stars grabbed his opponents tightly. The undead warriors suddenly became frightened. They could feel a terrifying energy accumulating within the body of the Capricorn Constellation. "Ling Xiao, you must win." He had to win. "I'll take my leave first." Boom! A terrifying explosion resounded between heaven and earth. Capricorn sacrificed himself. At the same time, he also took away 4 undead experts. Capricorn! At the corner of Ling Xiao's eyes, there were tears flowing down. Although he had some grudges with Capricorn Constellation. Previously they even fought. He even hated this guy. But at this moment he saw Capricorn Constellation's courage. "Don't worry, even if I die, I will win. This is my promise to you." Ling Xiao gritted his teeth and looked at the great Devil Emperor opposite him. "Kill them all." Tyrannical Sky, Martial Spirit. Chapter 4981. The battle between the strong was extremely tragic, and the battle between the armies could only be described as extremely miserable. In a short 20 minutes, the number of casualties on both sides had already exceeded hundreds of thousands. The saying that human lives were like grass was really cruel in war. If the undead army dies, Lotus Flower can refine it again. But if you humans die, you really die. What's the point of this meaningless struggle? The Great Devil Emperor did not use the Great Devil King domain for the time being, because he realized that if he used it rashly, not only would he not be able to kill Ling Xiao, but he would also create an opportunity for Ling Xiao to prepare. As a result, his Great Devil King domain could not succeed at all, although this domain could basically be achieved without any cooldown time. But the consumption of spirit energy was too terrifying. Even if there were 3 undead fruit trees providing him with spirit energy, it was useless. The consumption was still much faster than the recovery. So his current strategy was to attack with all his strength, looking for Ling Xiao's flaws, and suddenly use the Great Devil King domain to make Ling Xiao suffer a big loss. The words from his mouth were not said casually. They were just words to strike Ling Xiao's confidence, to make Ling Xiao unable to focus on the battle. Unfortunately, Ling Xiao's confidence was not so weak. Is there a point? Repelling you is the point. Although Lotus Flower can create undead warriors, but this needs time. I believe that this 300 million undead army should be created by Lotus Flower's demon sovereign body after hundreds of years of hard work, including you 3 ghost emperors. You must have consumed a lot of Lotus Flower's energy. As long as you are all annihilated, Lotus Flower's power will be severely weakened. At that time, I only need to focus on dealing with the main culprit. Do you think this is meaningful? It can only be said that Lotus Flower made a bad move. He was foolish to launch such a large-scale battle when he couldn't move. He is destined to fail. Ling Xiao faced the great Devil Emperor's fierce attacks, did not retreat at all. Instead, he fought bravely. Do you really think that the Heaven Holy Land alone can contend with our undead army? Wishful thinking. Why not? As long as Lotus Flower doesn't make a move, you're all trash in my eyes. Let me show you my true strength. The moment his voice fell, Ling Xiao's body began to change. A phoenix cry resounded in the sky. This caused all the martial artists of the Heaven Holy Land to become excited. Many people had heard of Ling Xiao's situation. It was a beast god martial artist that could transform into a giant hell undying bird or blood lightning bull demon. But they had never met. Today, he finally heard the clear cry of a phoenix. The hell undying bird's body began to spread in the sky. There was a reason for Ling Xiao's principle. The fused body could only last for half an hour, and now more than 20 minutes had passed. However, he still failed to capture the great Devil Emperor. Therefore, in the last 10 minutes, he had to raise his combat power to the maximum. The strongest form of combat power was the beast god form, even though he might not be able to use powerful martial skills like this. However, it also had its own unique advantages. That was, the beast god skills would increase in all aspects. For example, the cosmic light fist, the void shattering finger. For example, the martial spirit array diagrams. Endless flames erupted in the sky. The entire sky seemed to have turned into the pitch-black color of hellfire. A giant hell undying bird that almost covered the entire battlefield appeared. Everywhere it went, the aura of death was quickly driven away. Even the 3 death fruit trees on the ground were roasted by the high temperature and wilted. Not good. The great Devil Emperor couldn't care less about Ling Xiao. He suddenly rushed forward and used his own strength to protect the death fruit trees, because he knew very well that the death fruit trees were the source of their power. If they were destroyed, the gap between them and human martial artists would gradually widen. Especially as time passed, they would become weaker and weaker. What a huge hell undying bird! On the ground, the martial artists with beast souls looked up at the sky excitedly. It wasn't just huge. A terrifying pressure was released, causing the sky to change color. Everything was frightened. And this wasn't the end. Ling Xiao didn't have much time left. He had to end the battle as soon as possible. Therefore, he had to release all the strength he could. 6 corpse ghosts come out. The reason why he only summoned the corpse ghosts now was because the moment the corpse ghosts were summoned, their initial strength would change according to the strength of Ling Xiao's main body. The stronger his main body was, the stronger the corpse ghosts would be. The corpses on the ground turned into 6 corpse ghosts. However, compared to ordinary corpse ghosts, Ling Xiao's 6 corpse ghosts were too eye-catching. They were close to 10 meters tall. They were covered in white bone armor. They held white bone blades. Their strength had all reached the early stage of the 7th level divine body realm. Go and help. Ling Xiao ordered. The 6 corpse ghosts rose into the sky. They went to help the others. With their help, the gold sage martial artists and Bai Yi, who were originally in danger, were relieved. I didn't expect you to have such a remarkable ability. The great Devil Emperor frowned. Ling Xiao's ability was too strong. Especially in a team battle, it was too helpful. With the addition of these 6 white bone corpse ghosts, the situation seemed to be reversed. It's not over yet. The next scene will surprise you even more. The huge hell undying bird spoke in human language. The next moment, the whole world was enveloped by the black universe of Tyrant. At the critical moment, Ling Xiao couldn't care less about leaking the secret. Universe of Tyrant was 30% stronger than Tyrant possession. Moreover, Universe of Tyrant's ability was much more powerful than Tyrant possession. In Universe of Tyrant, Ling Xiao's martial soul array diagram would expand greatly. The array diagram could expand as much as Universe of Tyrant was. It enveloped all the dead souls inside. On a certain battlefield, a group of human martial artists was surrounded by an army of dead souls. They were in a critical situation. They had already done their best. They were no match for these dead souls, just as they were about to fight for their lives. Suddenly, a chill was released from the void. The undead surrounding them were frozen into ice in an instant. They took the opportunity to rush up and kill them, turning the situation around. In another place, the water of the yellow springs suddenly appeared. Those dead souls were swallowed by the water of the yellow springs and turned into liquid. They disappeared. The human martial artists who were almost in despair knelt on the ground and heaved a sigh of relief. Experts brought too many surprises to people. Sometimes a powerhouse could change the situation of a war with just his own strength, and Ling Xiao happened to be such a person. Due to the expansion of the array diagram, the Gold Sage martial artists also received many benefits. The invincible ape god array diagram gave them a strong defense, allowing them to fight bravely. Heavenly lightning and earthly fire continued to fall, causing a large number of dead souls to suffer losses. The bloodthirsty plague was crazily devouring the spirit essence of the dead souls. They had already lost the replenishment of the dead soul fruit tree and the devouring of the bloodthirsty plague. Many undead warriors fell to the ground as they ran. Mobile version update website M. Chapter 4982. Long live Huang Jindi. Huang Jindi is invincible. With Huang Jindi on our side, we can't lose. Everyone, work harder, don't be afraid. Keep up the good work. Ling Xiao released the tyrant martial soul and summoned the 6 ghouls, transforming into the huge hell undying bird. This greatly boosted the morale of the human side. Everyone seemed to be fearless of death. There seemed to be a lot of power in their bodies out of thin air. The most amazing thing was that someone actually broke through under such circumstances. They became even stronger. Although they were puzzled as to why Ling Xiao didn't use such a powerful ability earlier, no one said anything. Ling Xiao didn't use it, so naturally he had his reasons. It was fine as long as he used it now. Idiot, such a huge body, it's full of flaws. Skeletal warships, lock onto Ling Xiao and blast him to death. Lotus Flower naturally knew that Ling Xiao had the terrifying beast god body. Therefore, he had considered this point. In the sky, the skeletal warships that were originally floating suddenly fired their cannons. They released a terrifying array of cannons and blasted towards Ling Xiao's body. According to their thoughts, Ling Xiao's body was so huge that it wouldn't be easy to dodge. That was the truth. His body was too big. Whether it was dodging or moving, the movements were too big. However, they obviously underestimated Ling Xiao. They knew Ling Xiao's weakness. Didn't Ling Xiao know it himself? Since he knew, there was no need to be afraid. Undying bird fire, bloom. If he couldn't dodge, then he would use other methods to protect himself. And attacking was the best way to protect himself. A terrifying flame suddenly rose up. The sky seemed to be completely wrapped in flames. The crazy flames not only destroyed the incoming cannons, but also burned the skeletal warships. The hell undying bird gently moved its claws. The skeletal warships were smashed into pieces. Its huge body was indeed inconvenient to move, but its attacks had also become very terrifying. Even without using martial skills, the power of this attack was more powerful than the 7-word style of the god-defying art. The reason for that was because this power was simply too ferocious. Great Devil Emperor die. Ling Xiao destroyed all the skeletal worships of the undead army. However, he also knew that he didn't have much time left to fuse with his body. He had to eliminate the Great Devil Emperor as soon as possible. Otherwise, once the time passed, it would really be terrible. The hell undying bird opened its huge mouth. A ball of extremely condensed flame suddenly shot out. Boom! The terrifying black flame turned into a black ray. He said it was a ray. That was only true for the Hell Phoenix's enormous body. To the Great Devil Emperor, this was a terrifying artillery barrage. The radiation covered an area of several miles. In that instant, the Great Devil Emperor's entire body was struck by the black flames. Nearly 100,000 undead near him were instantly destroyed. Even the 3 departed spirit fruit trees were reduced to ashes. Did he escape? He was indeed cunning. Ever since the Tai Chi eye evolved, Ling Xiao could see even more things. The Great Devil Emperor's entire body was destroyed, but that was just an illusion. This guy had sent out the undead essence the moment he was destroyed. Then he reformed his body. I'll fight you to the death. The Great Devil Emperor's body this time wasn't just his own body. He also absorbed a large number of undead warriors. This caused his body to rapidly grow. In the end, that terrifying body wasn't inferior to the Hell Phoenix at all. Boom! After the Great Devil Emperor transformed, the terrifying mace smashed down again. If the mace from before was like a small mountain, then it was like a small mountain. Now, the mace was like an undulating mountain range crashing down on him. Ling Xiao's body was huge, and he couldn't dodge in time. He could only take it. His huge claws grabbed the terrifying mace. A tearing sound came from the sky. This terrifying power, if it was in a city, perhaps a city like the holy city of heaven, would have been completely destroyed. What a troublesome guy! Ling Xiao frowned. There were still 3 minutes before the fusion ended. It was getting more and more troublesome. But the Great Devil Emperor didn't seem to have any signs of death. Ordinary warriors' soul realms couldn't move, but many undead's undead essence could move within their body. If he couldn't instantly destroy the opponent's body, then he couldn't kill the opponent. Before, the Great Devil Emperor was only 10 meters tall, but now he was over 1,000 meters tall. The undead essence didn't grow bigger and could freely shuttle through this huge body. It became even harder to destroy. Damn it! I have to think of a way. Ling Xiao knew that if these 3 minutes passed, humanity would be in a huge predicament. Now that he had lost the power of his fused body, it was impossible for him to fight the giant Devil Emperor. What to do? Ling Xiao stared at the Great Devil Emperor's huge body. While blocking the opponent's crazy attacks, he thought of a solution. 3 minutes, it wasn't long, but it wasn't short either. Let's give it a try. Ling Xiao's eyes suddenly became determined. In this huge beast god body state, he had never used the void-shattering finger or cosmic light god fist. He didn't know what kind of effect it would have, but it was worth a try. Otherwise, he really didn't have any other way. 1 minute before the fusion ended, the hell undead bird raised its claws. At that moment, the Great Devil Emperor actually felt fear. What are you doing? Killing you. Void-shattering finger. Shatter the void. The void-shattering finger was finally used. The huge Great Devil Emperor's body was wrapped in red space, as if it was embedded in red glass. Ling Xiao had never seen this kind of scene before. Then, the glass began to distort and shatter. Kacha, kacha, kacha. Sounds were constantly heard, although the Great Devil Emperor was already very careful. But Ling Xiao's void-shattering finger was impossible to dodge. In addition, the Great Devil Emperor's current strength was completely inferior to Ling Xiao's. The success rate of Ling Xiao's attack was also very high. Seeing that the space was about to shatter, the great Devil Emperor was about to tear it apart. Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a hint of shock, because he discovered that the great Devil Emperor had actually escaped from the shattered space. That guy actually had a talisman on him that could allow him to escape from space. Ha ha ha, Ling Xiao, you didn't expect that, did you? Your all-out attack could only end up like this. Your fusion should be about to end soon. Ha 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 ha, don't worry. I will give you a quick death. Then I will kill all the humans in the Heaven Holy Land. The great Devil Emperor, who had escaped, laughed crazily. This guy, in order to deal with Ling Xiao, was really well prepared. It seemed that he had studied Ling Xiao well. However, there was also a magical martial skill that Ling Xiao had never used before. So even the lotus flower didn't know about it. The great Devil Emperor definitely didn't know either. Time reversal. The hell undead bird's time reversal didn't rely on its fists, but its eyes. This was more secretive. Chapter 4983. Time reversal. The great Devil Emperor used the talisman to escape from Ling Xiao's shattered void. He was very pleased with himself, but then the situation changed again. Ling Xiao used the divine skill, time reversal. In an instant, the great Devil Emperor returned to the moment when he was surrounded by shattered void. The biggest benefit of the divine skill time reversal was that the enemy's skills or items wouldn't return, but Ling Xiao's items could. Therefore, the talisman of the giant Devil Emperor had been used and could not be restored. This time he couldn't escape. Impossible. The giant Devil Emperor cried out in alarm, and his face paled. Nothing is impossible. Go to hell. Shattered void could ensure that the great Devil Emperor's body would be completely torn apart. This way, no matter where he hid the undead essence in his body, it would be useless. However, Ling Xiao's expression changed drastically the moment he used Shatter the Void, because his fused body was dispelled. The biggest problem with dispelling his fused body was that his attacks would be weakened. Shattered Void wasn't completed in the end. The great Devil Emperor's body was almost torn to pieces, but it was only almost. In the end, he managed to escape. Ha 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 ha. Ling Xiao, you're done for. The giant Devil Emperor felt as if he had just survived a calamity. Your fused body is dispelled. Let's see how you're going to fight me. Although he was also heavily injured, he could still crush Ling Xiao, who didn't have a fused body. He began to desperately reform his body. He wanted to kill Ling Xiao. Otherwise, once Ling Xiao's fused body's cooldown was over, it would be troublesome. After the fused body ended, the power of the formation would also weaken. This allowed the undead army to gain the upper hand again. The effect of this was huge. Ling Xiao looked at the great Devil Emperor, his eyes filled with determination. Fused body could only be used once a day. It was impossible for the cooldown to be over. Therefore, he had to take another path. That was a breakthrough. If he wanted to break through, he would have to endure even greater pain. To put it bluntly, he was playing with his life. At this moment, he didn't choose to run away. Instead, he attacked all the undead, including the great Devil Emperor. With his cultivation at the peak of the 3rd level of the divine physique echelon, coupled with his divine beast body, martial artists below the early stage of the 7th level of the divine physique echelon wouldn't be able to stop him. The undead army had no choice but to retaliate because of Ling Xiao's attack. Countless attacks landed on Ling Xiao's body. At that moment, Ling Xiao even cancelled the invincible ape deity array diagram. He wanted his body to suffer even more pain. Lunatic! The great Devil Emperor was dumbfounded. He didn't know what Ling Xiao was trying to do. However, in his opinion, such a method was nothing more than courting death. But from Ling Xiao's point of view, if he wasn't crazy, then it wouldn't work. At this moment, he could only stake everything on this one throw. Before the great Devil Emperor reformed his body, he had to break through his cultivation. Only then could he truly become stronger and not rely on the fused body. More and more injuries appeared on his body. At this moment, Ling Xiao was being attacked by countless undead martial artists. When these people saw that their attacks were effective, they became even more aggressive. They wanted to kill Ling Xiao. Everyone knew that Ling Xiao was the leader of these humans, their spiritual pillar. As long as they killed Ling Xiao, the Holy Land of Paradise would be destroyed. They would be able to do so, and they would also become meritorious subjects. When the time came, they would definitely be rewarded by great Emperor Lianhua. Bang! After a loud bang, one of the Hell Undying Bird's claws was destroyed. Ling Xiao endured the intense pain and felt the door of breakthrough in his body. Previously, there was only a small gap, but now it was almost a quarter of the way open. Although it was painful, he believed that he had made the right bet. If it was under normal circumstances, he wouldn't torture himself like this and risk his life. But now, if he didn't do this, he wouldn't be able to live, and all the martial artists of the Holy Land of Paradise might be killed. He didn't want to see that kind of tragedy, so he could only risk his life. The great Devil Emperor's head had completely reformed. Looking at Ling Xiao, he couldn't help but laugh. What the pity! This kid should have been killed by me. What a crazy guy! Logically speaking, with his current strength, we can't catch him even if he wants to escape. But he's risking his life like this, how stupid. The great Devil Emperor mocked Ling Xiao. In fact, he wanted to do it himself, but he didn't give the order. After all, his body hadn't completely reformed yet. It was better to kill Ling Xiao as soon as possible to be at ease. Ling Xiao didn't talk nonsense. He was silently watching his breakthrough. Stupid, great Devil Emperor. Did he really think that he was just looking for a beating? What a joke! Bang! Another loud bang sounded, and the other claw of the Hell Undying Bird shattered. It had to be said that the attacks of the undead warriors were very fierce. Especially Ling Xiao. This guy was crazy enough to remove his defense. He took the attack with his body alone. It would be strange if he didn't get hurt. Bang! 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 When the great Devil Emperor's upper body had completely reformed. However, Ling Xiao was in trouble. Including his wings, his body exploded, and in the end, only a huge Undying Bird's head was left. The reason why Ling Xiao maintained such a huge form was to take more and more fierce attacks. The facts proved that he was right. But now it was a very dangerous moment. There were many wounds on the Hell Undying Bird's head, and it wouldn't take long. His head would shatter like other parts of his body and be destroyed. Looks like I don't need to do anything. The great Devil Emperor could completely reform his body soon. To be honest, he was a little disappointed. Ling Xiao couldn't be killed by him. More or less, he was a little helpless. Bang! Finally, the Undying Bird's head exploded. Dead. Ling Xiao was dead? The humans had encountered the most desperate situation. The morale of the undead army rose. Your boss is dead, and you can still fight in peace? The evil fire phoenix had been beaten up badly by Xiao Jin. Its cultivation level was higher, but it was suppressed by Xiao Jin and it didn't feel good. When he saw Ling Xiao being killed, he laughed. It hoped that it could distract Xiao Jin. However, the strange thing was that Xiao Jin had a mocking smile on his face. Idiot! Do you think my boss will die so easily? Not only did it not get distracted, but it attacked even more fiercely. Because Xiao Jin knew that as long as it killed the opponent in front of it, it could help the others. That way, the situation would be completely reversed. The same thing happened to Yu Fenghua. If she had just met Ling Xiao, Yu Fenghua might have been frightened and distracted. But her trust in Ling Xiao was absolute. When the Hell Undying Bird's body was completely destroyed, she didn't cry. Instead, she laughed. You crazy woman, what are you laughing at? The Heaven Ghost Emperor was also suppressed by Yu Fenghua, and he was very unhappy. Seeing Yu Fenghua laugh, he was even more unhappy. Haven't you heard of the Phoenix's nirvana, rebirth from the ashes? Yu Fenghua smiled faintly, and her attacks became even more fierce. Chapter 4984. Although she was smiling, Yu Fenghua felt some pain in her heart. She was angry because Ling Xiao had suffered so much in order to defeat these undead. How could she feel good? Now, she wanted to vent her pain and anger on the opponent in front of her. Let them know how angry she was. Boom! Yu Fenghua had just finished speaking. Suddenly, a ball of flame exploded in the void. It directly burned tens of thousands of undead warriors around. These guys besieged Ling Xiao just now. After winning, they didn't think that Ling Xiao would resurrect. So they didn't care. This time they were unlucky. A figure walked out of the fire. It was Ling Xiao's divine beast form. Human form, beast armor. His body was not as big as before, but his power was 100 times stronger than before. Impossible. He's just a human. How can he be resurrected? At this time, the great Devil Emperor had also completely condensed his body. Seeing Ling Xiao resurrect, he was shocked and angry. From far away, he waved his mace. If you want to die, why are you in such a hurry? It will be your turn soon. In the void, a giant hand burning with flames easily dissolved the mace's attack. It even forced the great Devil Emperor to take a few steps back. The current great Devil Emperor was no longer in his peak state. After being heavily injured by Ling Xiao several times, coupled with the effect of the bloodthirsty rat plague, this guy was no longer as strong as before. On the other hand, Ling Xiao had become even stronger. Therefore, in front of Ling Xiao, he seemed to have become much weaker. You broke through. You actually broke through. Damn it. The great Devil Emperor looked at Ling Xiao with fear in his eyes. When he followed Ling Xiao in the past, he knew that this young man was not to be trifled with, so he had always been very afraid. Even though he had obtained great power from the lotus flower, but he was still a little afraid. This fear had turned into a deep fear at this moment. However, as the great Devil Emperor, how could he admit defeat so easily? Although he no longer had the undead fruit tree, he still had the undead army to provide him with energy. He would not lose. He suddenly opened his mouth and took a deep breath. The undead essences of countless undead were absorbed into his body. At that moment, he had recovered close to 90% of his strength. Ling Xiao, it's useless. So what if you've broken through? You're still no match for me. You will still die. The great Devil Emperor roared. Hee hee, that's because you don't know what my breakthrough means. Ling Xiao chuckled. The void god, sword in his hand, gently drew a sword light in the void. It slashed towards the great Devil Emperor. This was not a sword move. It was just an ordinary attack. However, this attack was not only terrifyingly fast, its power was also terrifyingly strong. The great Devil Emperor only saw a blur in front of his eyes. He simply had no chance to dodge. His body had already been pierced. The violent sword aura continued to wreak havoc in his body. In an instant, the body that he had just reformed exploded again. It turned into a bloody mist that filled the sky. However, as the bloody mist exploded, it began to gather madly, as if it wanted to reform. Ling Xiao did not continue to attack. He just watched indifferently. You better not revive. Otherwise, I will let you taste the most terrible pain in the world. How could the great Devil Emperor listen to Ling Xiao? He absorbed the undead essences of a large number of undead again. His body reformed again. It seemed that as long as the undead army did not die, he would not die. Stubborn. Ling Xiao did not use a sword this time. Instead, he threw a punch. He threw a punch towards the great Devil Emperor that he had just reformed. The great Devil Emperor was depressed. His body that had just recovered was broken up again. Although this was not enough to kill him, it had to be known that every time he reformed his body, he had to consume at least 100,000 undead. Every time Ling Xiao destroyed him, the undead army would decrease by a lot. He could not afford to consume it. Ling Xiao, you bastard! I'll definitely kill you. If it was just consuming the undead army, the great Devil Emperor would not care very much. But every time he was attacked, he had to endure great pain. This was really unbearable for him. Hee, what's the point of saying this now? From the moment I broke through, it meant your failure. We've won this battle. If you are lucky enough to survive, go back and tell Lotus Flower that I will go to the graveyard of the gods to settle accounts with him. Let him wash his neck and wait. After making a breakthrough in his cultivation, Ling Xiao was even more confident. He believed that with his current strength, he could even put up a fight against great Emperor Lianhua. What's more, Lotus Flower had not merged with the Emperor's body. He definitely could not recover his former strength. He had a chance of winning. Ling Xiao, do you really think you are invincible? Let me tell you, I am the great Devil Emperor, the most powerful existence under Lotus Flower. I will not die. The great Devil Emperor reformed his body again. The sword in Ling Xiao's hand was already ready. The moment the great Devil Emperor successfully reformed his body, he was directly killed. Another 100,000 undead were absorbed by the great Devil Emperor. The pressure on the human side was getting smaller and smaller. After Ling Xiao successfully broke through, the power of the array diagram increased. In addition, the undead army suffered heavy losses this time, so the humans were able to gain the advantage. Losing 300,000 undead soldiers in a short period of time was not a small number. Now, everyone was paying attention to the outcome of the battle between the top experts. As long as Ling Xiao, Xiao Jin, Yu Fenghua, and Bai Yi, the 9 gold saints, were not defeated, they would not lose. In the opposite situation, they would be finished. In the next moment, the great Devil Emperor successfully reformed his body again. Ling Xiao's sword light pierced forward again. However, this time it did not succeed. A huge bone shield appeared in front of the great Devil Emperor. It blocked Ling Xiao's sword light. Oh, 9 dragon pattern Emperor artifact. You actually have 2 Emperor artifacts of this level on you. Ling Xiao's expression did not change as he said indifferently, "Kid, you can force me to this extent. You are really strong, but unfortunately the methods of I, the great Devil Emperor, are not something you can imagine. You were the one attacking before. Now have a taste of my attack. My strongest attack." The great Devil Emperor took a deep breath, his eyes revealing boundless killing intent. At that moment, Ling Xiao frowned slightly. He did not attack again, but stared at the great Devil Emperor's mace. Boom! Heaven and earth shook, and the great Devil Emperor's mace was suddenly swung. In the next moment, something strange happened, for great Devil Emperors appeared around Ling Xiao's body, waving their mace at the same time. These 4 great Devil Emperors appeared in an instant, and even Ling Xiao could not block them. However, he could use the Earth Golden Light technique to dodge, but he did not do that, because he wanted to see how much his body's defense had improved after his breakthrough. Chapter 4985. The Great Devil Emperor's attack had exceeded many people's imaginations. His ferocious power was enough to tear apart a planet. The 4 identical phantoms actually possessed the same amount of power. This was the great Devil Emperor's full-strength attack. In other words, the mace this time was equivalent to 4 times the power of the previous attack. However, Ling Xiao didn't choose to evade. He activated his divine origin, and a frenzied power surged from his body. He had to get stronger. He had to continue getting stronger. It wasn't enough yet. It was far from enough. If the great Devil Emperor was so strong and difficult to defeat, then what about Lotus Flower and the other experts of Eternal Divine Nation? Boom! 4 maces landed on Ling Xiao's body at the same time. Terrifying ripples exploded in the sky. However, Ling Xiao didn't retreat at all. His body was bent almost 90 degrees. However, he quickly returned to normal. In that moment, the great Devil Emperor's expression was extremely ugly. His full-strength attack had only left a small bruise on Ling Xiao's body. This might be very painful for an ordinary person, but for a cultivator of Ling Xiao's level, it was no problem at all. Moreover, the most frightening thing was that Ling Xiao hadn't met the attack with attack. He hadn't even taken the initiative to defend. He'd blocked the attack purely with his physical strength. The great Devil Emperor couldn't believe this. He almost fell into a state of insanity. Impossible. This is impossible. I don't believe this is real. Go to hell. He unleashed another frenzied attack. It wasn't any different from the previous one. At the same time, foreshadows of the great Devil Emperor appeared next to Ling Xiao. He didn't give Ling Xiao any chance to defend himself. I don't want to take your trash attack a second time. It's meaningless. Ling Xiao chose to dodge this time. He used earth-piercing golden light to dodge the great Devil Emperor's attack. At the same time, Ling Xiao attacked with the Void God's sword in his right hand. 6 sword lights shot towards the great Devil Emperor at the same time. The great Devil Emperor had just punched out, so he had no time to defend himself. His body was once again torn apart by the sword. Another 100,000 undead died. Take your time to recover. To be honest, I don't want to kill you so soon. Ling Xiao sneered and took advantage of the great Devil Emperor's recovery to rush towards the rest of the undead. The first to suffer was the early stage 7th level divine physique echelon martial artist, who was fighting the gold Saint martial artist, Bai. With just one sword, the Aries constellation's opponent was smashed into pieces. It was completely killed by Ling Xiao's sword chi. They weren't the great Devil Emperor. They didn't have the great Devil Emperor's divine abilities. The Void God sword could completely shatter their necromancy essence. In the next moment, Ling Xiao appeared in front of Leo Constellation again. Leo Constellation was currently facing a situation where he was surrounded and attacked. Luckily, he was strong enough and fast enough, so he did not lose. However, if this went on for a long time, he would definitely be at a disadvantage. Just as Leo Constellation was feeling anxious, the 3 6th level divine physique echelon martial artist and the early stage 7th level divine physique echelon martial artist died instantly. Leo Constellation was dumbfounded. Don't just stand there. Go help others. Ling Xiao didn't help these gold saint martial artists to let them rest. At the moment, there were still a large number of martial artists facing the threat of the undead army. They had to rescue them. No, this guy is too scary. Faced with Ling Xiao's terrifying strength, the remaining 8 early stage 7th level divine physique echelon martial artists were scared stiff. They even abandoned their opponents and gathered together. If they didn't do that, they believed that they would be killed by Ling Xiao soon. Conquer the 4 regions and 9 worlds? Kill Ling Xiao? From the looks of it, this was simply a ridiculous joke. Is this the rumored master of the 4 regions and 9 worlds? It seems like he wasn't lying. With such terrifying strength, he can definitely turn the tide of the battle with his own strength. Sagittarius Constellation didn't believe in Ling Xiao previously. Even if he followed Ling Xiao to fight, he was still extremely fearful and uneasy. However, at this moment, he realized that he wasn't afraid anymore, because even if he died now, it would be worth it. Previously, he was most afraid that the Heaven's sacred land would be invaded by the undead after he died. That way of dying would be too cowardly. Now, the 4 regions and 9 worlds didn't need many martial artists. What they needed was a top-notch martial artist who could turn the tide of the battle. Only then could they bring confidence to the humans. Only then could they turn the delusion of defeating Lotus Flower into reality. And Ling Xiao was such an existence. With Ling Xiao, how could they lose this battle? Damn it. Let's team up and deal with that brat. At this moment, the great Devil Emperor finally succeeded in condensing his body again. He already knew that he couldn't kill Ling Xiao with his own strength. However, with the addition of 8 divine body 7th level martial artists, it would be a different story. However, just as he was roaring, Ling Xiao suddenly appeared in front of him. 6 streaks of sword light shot out again. Bastard brat, do you think you can succeed with the same move? Bone shield. A huge shield blocked in front of him. It blocked Ling Xiao's sword light. However, before the great Devil Emperor could rejoice, he suddenly realized something. The 72 primordial blood jade talismans in the sky had already covered him. *T, I've been tricked. That's right. Ling Xiao's previous attack was just a pretense. What he really wanted to do was to use the primordial blood jade talismans to suppress this fellow. Since he couldn't kill him, he would suppress him first. He would deal with these bastards after killing the other undead martial artists. The great Devil Emperor had been tricked. Ling Xiao's plan was carried out smoothly. Next, it's your turn. After subduing the giant Devil Emperor, Ling Xiao turned to look at the remaining 8 7th level divine physique echelon undead experts. We can't retreat anymore. Kill him. Kill. The 8 divine body 7th level martial artists joined forces and attacked Ling Xiao at the same time. The gold sage martial artist and Bai Yi wanted to help, but Ling Xiao stopped them. While I'm holding them back, try to reduce the number of the undead army. Use whatever moves you have. There's no need to hide them anymore. After Ling Xiao finished speaking, he instantly used the holy ground demonic shadow. The entire universe of Tyrant was covered by his demonic shadows. There were hundreds of millions of them. Just this number alone was enough to scare the 8 fellows silly. Illusions, they're all illusions. Don't be afraid, one of them shouted. Unfortunately, just as he finished speaking, his head was pierced through. It was an illusionary shadow that looked like a giant elephant nearby. It used its tusks to kill him. Run. It was only now that they realized how terrifying Ling Xiao was. Even if they were all illusions, they couldn't discover Ling Xiao's real body. Anyone could become a target. They were instantly killed by Ling Xiao. However, escaping wouldn't change anything. In the void, 7 rays of sword light were released. The 7-word style of the god-defying art was released. In an instant, 5 of the 7 escaping undead martial artists were killed. Only 2 of the stronger ones were still alive. Chapter 4986. The 2 stronger undead experts weren't killed. However, Ling Xiao didn't chase after them. He stopped just like that. The 2 undead experts thought that they had escaped with their lives. However, in the next moment, their bodies suddenly exploded. It didn't seem to hit any vital parts, but the sword energy had already entered their bodies. How could they not die? In the blink of an eye, the battle situation changed completely. The great Devil Emperor was imprisoned, other than the 3 Ghost Emperors. All the 7th level divine body echelon martial artists were killed. The Gold Sage martial artists were sent to other battlefields. The humans were gaining more and more advantages. If this continued, the humans would end this war with the least casualties. He's invincible. Everyone was exclaiming. The humans and undead actually had the same thought. Ling Xiao's strength was simply unparalleled. The undead felt fear. The humans saw hope. And Ling Xiao's madness had just begun. Wandering among the undead army, Ling Xiao's target was the powerful undead above the divine body echelon realm. No one was able to stop the frenzied slaughter. The undead experts even thought of retreating, because they really couldn't think of a way to win against this terrifying fellow. Even the undead would be afraid. They would also lose their will to fight. After all, although their souls weren't complete, they still existed. As long as their souls existed, they would definitely be fearful and afraid. They would lose their will to fight because of fear. Giant demon, let's retreat. We've lost. When the Ghost Emperor of Heaven saw this, he knew that they had lost this battle. Because whether it was him, the great Devil Emperor, or the evil Fire Ghost Emperor, none of them could defeat Ling Xiao. In fact, the 2 of them couldn't even defeat Little Gold and Yu Fanghua now. If this continued, they would only die one by one. The undead army would be completely wiped out. Since you're here, don't go back. You can't escape from my universe of tyrants. Ling Xiao didn't want to let the tiger return to the mountain. If he didn't get rid of Lotus Flower's undead subordinates this time, when he went to the necropolis of the gods, he would encounter all sorts of unimaginable troubles. Ling Xiao, don't go too far. Although the great Devil Emperor was sealed, he still had no problem speaking. We don't want to fight anymore. Letting us go is a good thing for both of us. If you refuse to do so, then don't blame me for using my last resort. You still have a last resort? Ling Xiao frowned. He really couldn't tell if the great Devil Emperor was lying. According to his judgment, the great Devil Emperor definitely had another treasure in his hands. It could turn the situation around. However, the problem was that it might have a huge impact on Lotus Flower's overall plan after it was used. That was why the great Devil Emperor didn't use it. Should I let them go? Or should I risk it all? The hesitation in Ling Xiao's mind only lasted for a moment. He said, "Use whatever means you have." In this battle, he already had the upper hand. If he could use this advantage to weaken Lotus Flower's means as much as possible, it would definitely be worth it. Therefore, Ling Xiao was willing to take a gamble. You asked for it. The great Devil Emperor took out something. It looked like a fruit. This thing looked extremely strange. However, Ling Xiao felt an aura that belonged to the heart of an expert fruit. However, it was much stronger than that. It's the Dead Spirit Tree King. Someone exclaimed. This came from the Dead Spirit Army's cheers. It's really the Dead Spirit Tree King. Why didn't you summon it earlier? The Dead Spirit Tree King is the root of the Dead Spirit Fruit Tree, and it has extremely powerful combat abilities. Not to mention one Ling Xiao. Even if there were 3 Ling Xiaos, they probably wouldn't be a match for the Dead Spirit Tree King. Ha ha ha, the human race is finished. The Heaven Holy Land is finished. Once the Dead Spirit Tree King grows, all of our cultivation will increase greatly. The highest it can reach is the peak of the 7th level Divine Body Realm. Furthermore, it will provide an endless supply of death energy. We will definitely win. Ling Xiao, your end is here. So what if you have a breakthrough in your cultivation? The Dead Spirit Tree King can not only increase our strength, it also has powerful combat abilities. Very soon, all of you will be defeated. The Dead Spirit Warriors were originally in despair, but when they saw the fruit rapidly growing, their confidence seemed to have returned. All of their eyes were filled with terrifying killing intent. They wanted revenge. They wanted revenge. They wanted to kill all the humans in front of them. Although we have lost close to 100 million undead, it is nothing. Very soon, the Dead Spirit Tree King will revive them. Ha ha ha, I am so excited. The great Devil Emperor laughed wildly, feeling the powerful energy of the Dead Spirit Tree King. How could he not be excited? Golden Emperor, quickly stop him. Once the Dead Spirit Tree King grows, it will be over. The Aries constellation Golden Saint Martial artist seemed to have heard of the Dead Spirit Tree King and anxiously shouted. The rest of the humans did not know about the Dead Spirit Tree King. However, if the great Devil Emperor was right, then it would be too terrifying. The advantage that they had just regained might be gone again. No, if the Dead Spirit Tree King is so powerful, why didn't the great Devil Emperor take it out earlier? Why did he only use it now? There must be a problem. Ling Xiao believed that everything had a weakness. There was no perfect person in this world, and there was no perfect item. However, the Aries constellation Golden Saint Martial artist wanted him to kill the great Devil Emperor as soon as possible. This point he agreed. He no longer targeted the rest of the Dead Spirit Warriors. Ling Xiao directly rushed towards the great Devil Emperor. The rest of the human martial artists did not stop. If they were unable to stop him, then when the Dead Spirit Tree King descended, they would kill as many undead as possible. If the Dead Spirit Tree King wanted to revive the undead, it would definitely consume energy. This could be considered as a precaution. Don't even think of getting close to the great Devil Emperor. A large group of dead spirit warriors blocked Ling Xiao's path. It was obvious that these guys wanted to delay Ling Xiao until the dead spirit Tree King was born. Scram! A furious Ling Xiao was not someone that anyone could afford to offend. Crazy flames engulfed the entire area in front of him. In an instant, hundreds of thousands of undead were set ablaze. In a short period of time, they were burned to ashes. Ling Xiao guessed that the dead spirit Tree King would have a weakness. However, he could not just wait and do nothing. Before finding the dead spirit Tree King's weakness, he had to do his best. Even if he could not kill the great Devil Emperor, he had to prevent misfortune from descending. Xiao Jin and Yu Fenghua also intensified their attacks. Finally, at the most crucial moment, Xiao Jin killed the evil phoenix. Furthermore, it absorbed the evil phoenix's energy. Xiao Jin's cultivation instantly broke through to the late-stage 7th level divine physique echelon. Boss, let me help you. Xiao Jin directly pounced towards the great Devil Emperor. A terrifying ray of light directly pierced through the seal, pierced through the great Devil Emperor's body, and pierced through the plant in the great Devil Emperor's hand. Mobile version update website. M. Chapter 4987. The crazy flames burned. The great Devil Emperor was in great pain. He once again absorbed the dead spirit essence of 100,000 departed souls and started to repair his body. As for the dead spirit Tree King, it looked like its survival ability was even more terrifying than the great Devil Emperor's. The roots had been completely destroyed. Many of the newly grown branches were also shattered. However, this guy was still growing crazily. The branches even extended out of the seal and pierced into the bodies of many departed souls to absorb nutrients. The speed of its growth became even more terrifying. In an instant, it grew into a towering tree. Its branches swayed between heaven and earth. Everyone retreat! Ling Xiao sensed that the situation was not good and hurriedly shouted. Countless human martial artists gave up on chasing, but a portion of them still rushed over. In the end, they became the dead spirit Tree King's nutrients. In just an instant, the dead spirit Tree King killed all the divine physique echelon martial artists. This tree was at least 1,000 meters tall. It was incomparably huge. It constantly emitted a terrifying aura of death, making people feel very uncomfortable. The huge tree crown blocked the sunlight, causing the battlefield to become dark. Ha 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 ha. Success! Success! The dead spirit Tree King has finally grown. Foolish humans, you are completely finished. The dead spirit Tree King's rise greatly boosted the morale of the departed souls' army. It was even somewhat crazy. Although they were once in despair, from this moment onwards, everything was about to end. The final victor would be the departed souls' army, not the humans. How dangerous! The dead spirit Tree King has finally risen. The Heaven Ghost Emperor survived Yu Fenghua's attack and looked at the dead spirit Tree King in the distance with indescribable excitement. Xiahua! Oh, Xiahua! You used to look down on me. Now you are dead, but I am still alive. Ha! Don't worry, I will avenge you. Ling Xiao, I told you not to force me, but you didn't listen. Now you regret it, right? However, it is meaningless. With the dead spirit Tree King's protection, your seal is nothing. Looking at the seal that was forcefully broken, the great Devil Emperor also laughed wildly. Ling Xiao had no choice but to take back the 72 primordial blood jade talismans. These 72 streaks of light were no longer enough to suppress the terrifying undead spirit Tree King. What are we going to do? It's all over. Were the sacrifices of so many people in vain? Countless humans knelt on the ground and looked at the huge undead spirit Tree King in horror, fear, and unease. Universe of tyrants, shrink! At that moment, Ling Xiao did not panic. He had always believed that the undead Tree King had its fatal flaw. Therefore, the moment the dead spirit tree king appeared, he began to observe it with the Tai Chi eye. If it was the Tai Chi eye before it evolved, it might be useless. But now the Tai Chi eye was too useful. It only took him 3 to 5 minutes to confirm the secret of the undead spirit tree king. This guy could only be effective within the radiation range of his tree crown. Therefore, the only thing Ling Xiao had to do was to minimize the area that the tree king could control. Although the outside world might lose the help of Universe Tyrant's power. But what does that matter? On the battlefield outside, there were gold Saint Martial artists and Bai Yi. The humans could win. What he had to do was to destroy the undead spirit tree king and kill the great devil emperor. That was all. In an instant, Universe of Tyrants had shrunk to less than 100 meters. Within this 100 meters, other than Ling Xiao, there were only 2 people. One was Xiao Jin, and the other was the great devil emperor. Of course, the undead spirit tree king could be counted as well. Everyone, this is the opportunity that the Golden Emperor created for us. Don't waste it. Before he controls the terrifying undead spirit tree king, we have to completely destroy these undead. Leo Constellation, Gold, Saint Martial artist roared. The crowd was excited, and the undead were like riding a roller coaster, falling heavily from the clouds. They thought that they could win. In the end, it was the same situation again. Damn you, Ling Xiao. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have died. To the undead, there was another piece of bad news. Yu Fanghua had killed the Heaven Ghost Emperor. The pitiful Heaven Ghost Emperor still wanted to borrow the power of the undead Spirit Tree King to strengthen himself. But in the end, he did not succeed. Before that, he was killed by Yu Fanghua. Yu Fanghua looked at the black space. She could not see what was happening inside, but she could only pray that nothing happened to Ling Xiao at this time. What she needed to do now was to help the humans outside and end this tragic war as soon as possible. With her participation, the humans' advantage became even more obvious. Inside Universe of Tyrants, Ling Xiao stabbed his reverse god sword into the trunk of the undead spirit tree king. It frantically absorbed the power of the undead spirit tree king. Although this guy was strong, it was still just a tree. What it was most afraid of was having its power absorbed. But Ling Xiao's reverse god sword could do this. But to do this, Ling Xiao had to do it wholeheartedly. Unable to fight, fortunately, Xiao Jin was there, facing the joint attack of the undead spirit tree king and the great devil emperor. Xiao Jin swore not to retreat. He knew very well that this war was nearing its end. As long as he could hold on here, they would win. As long as Ling Xiao could survive, they would win. Although Xiao Jin was not a match for the undead spirit tree king and the great devil emperor alone. But to block these 2 guys, it was not a problem. After more than 10 minutes, Xiao Jin was covered in wounds and his condition was greatly reduced. He was a little dizzy, but at this time, at least half of the undead spirit tree king's energy had been absorbed. The potential that Ling Xiao had lost was completely replenished by this energy. Seeing this, the great devil emperor panicked. Ling Xiao, I will not let you succeed. Undead spirit tree king, fuse with me. At the last moment, the great devil emperor chose to fuse with the undead spirit tree king. The energy vibration produced in that instant directly sent Ling Xiao and Xiao Jin flying. Even the universe of Tyrant had a crack. This situation had never happened before. Xiao Jin, you rest first. Xiao Jin was already severely injured from the previous beating. After this attack, his injuries were even more serious and he could no longer fight. Ling Xiao put him into the Dongxing Emperor Ring and let him recuperate, and repaired the universe of Tyrant. In the end, the battle would be between him and the giant Devil Emperor. But fortunately, as long as the great Devil Emperor was defeated, the undead Spirit Tree King would be finished. Other than the undead Spirit Tree King that had already been released, the Lotus Flower could no longer create a new undead Spirit Tree King. This was Definitely something worth rejoicing over. At this time, the undead spirit Tree King on the opposite side had actually turned into the great Devil Emperor. Not only that, but its strength had also increased greatly. Although it was still at the peak of the 7th level Divine Body realm, its defense, speed, and attack had all increased greatly. The most terrifying thing was that this guy had combined the power of the undead spirit Tree King and the great Devil Emperor. It had become even more difficult to deal with. Mobile version update website M. Chapter 4988. Ling Xiao, what other tricks do you have to deal with me now? The great Devil Emperor merged with the remaining half of the dead spirit Tree King's strength and became extremely powerful. In the universe of Tyrants, he launched a terrifying attack on Ling Xiao. Countless branches like the tentacles of an octopus attacked Ling Xiao crazily. Some were extremely domineering. Some were vicious and cunning. Some had a terrifying corrosive power. Some had extremely strong penetrative power. These tree vines turned into terrifying weapons at this time, wanting to kill Ling Xiao. The great Devil Emperor also saw that the current situation was extremely disadvantageous for the undead army. However, the root of all this was Ling Xiao's strength. As long as they defeated Ling Xiao, then they could still turn defeat into victory. You're much stronger, but as long as your cultivation doesn't exceed the 8th level of the Divine Body realm, do you think I'll be afraid? Ling Xiao held the reverse god sword in one hand and the crimson blood demon sword in the other. The frenzied sword chi enveloped his entire body. All the tree vines would shatter after flying over. He had to thank the 2 treasured swords in his hands. Without them, this battle would really be dangerous. Ghostly shadows. The tree vines' attack stopped. Perhaps the great Devil Emperor knew that there was no point in continuing to attack like this, so he decided to just stop. He changed to the martial technique he used before. He waved his mace. In the blink of an eye, 4 giant Devil Emperors appeared around Ling Xiao. It was the same move, but because the great Devil Emperor's strength became much stronger, the power of the move also increased a lot. Do you think the same move is meaningful to me? Ling Xiao sneered, and his body suddenly spun. Like a blade wind wheel, he completely destroyed the 4 great Devil Emperor's figures. However, at this moment, he noticed a hint of a smile in the great Devil Emperor's eyes. Immediately after, Ling Xiao discovered that there were actually 2 more illusions above and below his feet. At this moment, Ling Xiao lost control of his body because of the rotation. The great Devil Emperor's attack just so happened to be launched at this moment, and the timing was impeccable. Although it was still slightly inferior to Ling Xiao's Tai Chi Eye, it still highlighted the great Devil Emperor's superb combat skills. You didn't expect this, did you, Ling Xiao? After I fused with the dead spirit Tree King, this move naturally became stronger. The great Devil Emperor sneered. Die. So what if I've become stronger? It's still useless. Ling Xiao's expression did not change in the slightest. It was as if all of this was within his expectations. 2 beast phantoms appeared behind him. The golden Vajra ape swung its 1,000-pound cudgel towards the sky. The other was the powerful blood lightning bull demon. It blasted towards the phantom below. Boom! Boom! With 2 consecutive booms, the 2 phantoms were directly shattered. However, Ling Xiao also suffered some minor injuries. Not only did these minor injuries not cause him any pain, but he also gained some benefits. The energy in his cultivation C had increased by another 10%. The speed of improvement between each level seemed to be faster. Ling Xiao could also clearly feel it. At this rate, it was not impossible for his cultivation to reach the peak of the 4th level of the divine physique echelon when he went to the graveyard of the gods. Damn it, he actually blocked it. The great Devil Emperor revealed a shocked expression. This was because he really did not understand that after fusing with the dead spirit Tree King, his combat power was now extremely strong. However, he still could not injure Ling Xiao severely, let alone defeat Ling Xiao. This was really too strange. Damn it! As the great Devil Emperor roared, his body started to expand. After fusing with the dead spirit Tree King's power, he could still become gigantic even without absorbing the other spirits of the dead. Strength was directly proportional to one's body size. He believed that only with a gigantic body could he truly unleash his strength. In the blink of an eye, his body grew to 1,000 meters tall again. The 9-dragon Pattern Emperor weapon, mace in his hand, also grew bigger. When he swung it, it was as if a mountain was smashing down. Whether it was the power or the range, it became even more terrifying. Only you can grow bigger. Ling Xiao sneered. This time, he did not use his divine beast form. Instead, he directly chose the divine ox body. The tall and mighty body was like a bull demon descending into the world. The Void God's sword and Crimson Blood Demon's sword in his hands also grew bigger. They also grew to 1,000 meters tall. The two incomparably huge humanoid monsters fought together again. Boom, boom, boom. The battle in the sky was unusually intense. However, because they were trapped in the universe of tyrants, it did not affect the people outside at all. Even so, people could still feel the terrifying aura. Both humans and spirits of the dead were very nervous now. This was because they knew very well that the outcome of this battle would affect the life and death of both parties. In the battle, Ling Xiao was always at a disadvantage, although he could basically block the great Devil Emperor's fatal attack. But the wounds on his body were still increasing. After all, in his current state, there was still a big gap between his strength and the great Devil Emperor's. But Ling Xiao was not discouraged, because he could feel that he was constantly getting stronger in the battle. The energy in his cultivation was constantly increasing. The speed of this increase was not fast, so even the great Devil Emperor did not notice it. Ling Xiao, how long can you last? 3 days and 3 nights. Or 10 days and 10 nights. Or a month. The great Devil Emperor sneered. I fused with the Death Spirit Tree King, so my energy can be continuously replenished. But you can't. So this time you are destined to die. Don't worry, it won't take that long. Soon, you will die under my sword. Ling Xiao said lightly. Still bluffing? Then let's ride a donkey and read a songbook. Let's wait and see. Although the great Devil Emperor was somewhat worried, he really could not think of any way that Ling Xiao could turn the situation around. After continuing to attack for a while, the great Devil Emperor discovered something inconceivable. Previously, his attacks were still able to cause damage to Ling Xiao, although the damage each time wasn't too serious. But during this time, although he could still suppress Ling Xiao, he could not cause any damage to Ling Xiao. It was as if his opponent was constantly getting stronger, and he was constantly weakening. What's going on? The great Devil Emperor's worry became more and more serious, and he even panicked. Damn it, I have to end this quickly. I can't drag it out any longer, or else it will be troublesome. Die, you bastard! The panicked great Devil Emperor raised his strength to the limit. The mace in his hand fiercely smashed out. You came at the right time. I need this attack of yours. Facing the great Devil Emperor's attack, Ling Xiao did not retreat or dodge at all. Instead, he chose to meet force with force. He put away the Crimson Blood Demon's sword, held the Void God's sword with both hands, and swung it out fiercely. Boom! The Void God's sword and the mace collided fiercely. The terrifying power sent Ling Xiao flying. However, at this moment, Ling Xiao's cultivation increased again, from the early stage to the mid-stage of the 4th level divine body realm. Chapter 4989. Ling Xiao, whose cultivation had increased once again, had increased his combat power by more than 10 times. R. A. N. W. N. W. 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 R. A. N. W. E. N. A. C. O. M. Oh no, this guy's strength has increased again. It turns out that I wasn't hallucinating. The great Devil Emperor's pupils suddenly shrank. He was inexplicably terrified. Ling Xiao was able to block all his attacks just now. Now that his cultivation had broken through again, his strength would only become more terrifying. Moreover, there was another point, which was that the bloodthirsty plague was constantly weakening his opponent. The current situation was that Ling Xiao had become stronger, and the great Devil Emperor had become weaker. The gap between the two was almost completely closed. In terms of combat skills, Ling Xiao believed that with the help of the Tai Chi Eye, no one in this world would be his opponent. It's time to end this. Ling Xiao had been waiting for this opportunity. His opponent was no longer of any help to his strength. Finally, this battle could be brought to an end. You seem to be very confident, but this kind of blind confidence has no meaning. Even if you can tie with me, you won't be able to kill me. The great Devil Emperor sneered. How do you know if you don't try? Ling Xiao smiled and condensed the demon ox fist in his left hand. The violent fist energy surged wildly. It shot out explosively. Child's play. The great Devil Emperor took a deep breath and swung his mace fiercely. He didn't believe that he would lose to Ling Xiao in terms of strength. Boom! A terrifying blast of energy exploded. The great Devil Emperor suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. His huge body was actually blasted away. Fortunately, this was the tyrannical universe. Otherwise, who knew how many warriors the great Devil Emperor's huge body would have smashed to death? In terms of strength, Ling Xiao would never lose to anyone. The powerful ox god's strength, coupled with the dragon god's blood flowing in his body. In terms of pure strength, he could suppress anyone. For the great Devil Emperor to compete with him in terms of strength was simply foolish. Ling Xiao didn't stop after sending the great Devil Emperor flying. He continued to charge forward. The Void God's sword in his right hand unleashed 7 streaks of sword chi, slashing towards the great Devil Emperor's huge body. The great Devil Emperor's body had become incomparably large. Although his strength had increased, he had also become a target. Puchi! The 7 streaks of sword chi hit the great Devil Emperor without any suspense. It tore at the Devil Emperor's body in a frenzy. Ling Xiao looked at his shattered opponent, but there was no joy in his eyes. He knew that the great Devil Emperor wouldn't die so easily. As expected, in the next moment, the great Devil Emperor's body returned to normal. It was only about 5 meters. The smaller the size, the less energy it would consume. Ling Xiao also returned to his normal height. He also needed to conserve his energy, concentrating it all on his attacks. Is it useful? This sword strike of yours only consumed less than 1/100th of my strength. It still can't kill me. The great Devil Emperor laughed. His powerful vitality was the source of his confidence. He believed that he wouldn't die, so no matter how strong Ling Xiao was, he wasn't afraid. You won't die? Huh? Ling Xiao sneered. A black lotus appeared above his head. It shot out a black light. Black lotus treasure light. In the blink of an eye, the treasured light struck the giant Devil Emperor. No matter where the undead essence of the great Devil Emperor was, the black lotus treasure light could accurately hit it. This was its advantage. In that instant, the great Devil Emperor was stunned. His soul was heavily injured. Although the soul secret technique was powerful, it had to be used at the most appropriate time. Otherwise, with the great Devil Emperor's powerful soul strength, it wouldn't be easy to succeed. It's useless. You want to use this soul secret technique to defeat me? You're dreaming. The great Devil Emperor resisted. The black lotus treasure light couldn't succeed. Yeah, I know. Smiling faintly, Ling Xiao appeared in front of the giant Devil Emperor in the blink of an eye. The Void God sword stabbed down. But I didn't expect the black lotus treasure light to kill you. I only used it to lock onto the location of your undead essence. Now you still won't die? The Void God Sword's effect was activated. It began to absorb the great Devil Emperor's power. Ling Xiao had used the Black Lotus Treasure Light twice to deal with the great Devil Emperor. It was because of the first time that he realized the miraculous effect of the Black Lotus Treasure Light. But in order to increase his chances of success, he had resisted using it. Until just now, he thought that his chance had come. Success in one strike. Otherwise, if he used it recklessly and failed, the great Devil Emperor would definitely be on guard. At that time, he might have to use 100 times more effort to defeat this monster. 10 minutes later, the energy of the undead Tree King and the great Devil Emperor was completely absorbed. The Void God Taoyu's strength rose to mid-stage, 7th level Divine Body Realm. And Ling Xiao's cultivation was filled to the brim with energy again. It was just that he hadn't broken through yet. If he wanted to reach late-stage, 4th level Divine Body Realm, he would need an opportunity. Ling Xiao deactivated the universe of tyrants. The battle outside was nearing its end. The undead army was completely suppressed. After seeing Ling Xiao kill the great Devil Emperor, the humans' fighting spirit rose even higher. On the other hand, the undead army completely lost their fighting spirit. They all tried to escape, but Ling Xiao didn't give them the chance. He used the universe of tyrants to seal the entire space, leaving only one exit. This exit was to prevent the undead warriors from fighting to the death. It didn't matter if they were humans or undead. As long as there was hope to escape, they wouldn't choose to fight to the death. In the end, they were annihilated. The moment the battle ended, almost everyone fell to the ground. Everyone was too tired. Previously, they relied on their strong willpower to fight. But the moment they won, exhaustion swept over them. But in addition to exhaustion, they were incomparably excited. Because they won. This difficult war finally came to an end at this moment. Who is it? An uninvited guest appeared on the battlefield. This caused everyone to become nervous. Yu Qin. Ling Xiao frowned. Although he was very tired, he still stood up. After Yu Qin appeared, she quickly escaped. Ling Xiao chased after her alone. He could understand Yu Qin's thoughts, because no one could guarantee that there weren't lotus flowers, spies among these humans. So, this was a very reasonable move. In a place where there was no one, Ling Xiao opened the martial soul barrier. Is there any news? Ling Xiao asked. Yu Qin nodded. I'm sorry to tell you a little late. Actually, I came early in the morning. But I doubt whether you can survive this battle. So I'm a little hesitant. Don't talk nonsense. What news is it? Ling Xiao waved his hand. He knew Yu Qin's thoughts too well. This guy was a fence-sitter. Only the strong side. If he couldn't do it, Yu Qin would immediately abandon him. Do you still remember Tu Yao? Yu Qin asked. Of course I remember. When Ling Xiao went to participate in the heroes' gathering, he saved this woman, but was framed by this woman. Although Ling Xiao later killed Tu Hongtian, his hatred for this woman didn't lessen. Chapter 4990. Ling Xiao didn't kill Tu Yao, or at that time because he felt bored. However, he didn't expect this information to be related to Tu Yao, or what happened to Tu Yao, or... Ling Xiao stared at Yu Qin and asked, This woman is like a poisonous snake. Once she hates someone, she'll do it even if she has to turn into a demon. Yu Qin shook her head and said, This woman sold her soul to Lotus Flower. The Eternal Emperor region is in imminent danger. Although you've eliminated the Death Spirit Tree King, there are still 10 seeds of the Death Spirit Tree. All of them have been placed in the Eternal Palace by Tu Yao. Tu Hongtian's loyal subordinates have already swallowed the hearts of experts and cooperated with Tu Yao. Also, the Beast Emperor that you couldn't kill previously has also gone to help. This is the reason why he didn't show up in this battle. All right, that's all I want to say. Although I know you're tired, this is an urgent matter. You have to send someone over to deal with it as soon as possible. Otherwise, it's all over. It's just a last-ditch struggle. Ling Xiao's victory in today's battle basically declared the death of 90% of Lotus Flower's subordinates. The matter with the Eternal Life Palace should have started before the great battle. This should be Lotus Flower's backup plan. If they lost the battle, he would use a surprise attack to delay Ling Xiao. However, even so, he couldn't help but worry. After all, most of the cultivators in the Eternal Emperor region had already submitted to him. He couldn't leave them in the lurch. Oh no, I should leave. That old man seems to have discovered me. Yu Chen's expression suddenly changed while she was speaking. Just as she was about to leave, a ghostly claw suddenly stretched out from her body. It directly grabbed her head. Ah! Yu Chen let out a shrill scream. She was terrified. Bastard! Although Ling Xiao didn't like Yu Chen, she had provided him with important information several times. If not for Yu Chen's information, he wouldn't have been able to destroy Lotus Flower's perfect plan. The moment the ghostly claw appeared, Ling Xiao made his move. The sword technique, which was as precise as a scalpel, instantly tore the ghost claw apart. Damn it, I didn't expect that I would still die despite being so careful. Yu Chen lay there with tears in her eyes. He didn't want to die, but there was nothing he could do. The ghost claw just now had basically destroyed his bodily functions. Right now he was just struggling at death's door. Eat this. Ling Xiao fed Yu Chen a healing pill. It's useless. Everything is useless. Damn it, I really want to see how you kill that guy. Yu Chen's life force had been severely depleted, so the healing pill had no effect at all. From the looks of it, it wasn't just an injury. It was a terrifying curse. Ling Xiao gritted his teeth, pulled out the Void God sword, and stabbed Yu Chen. A black energy was forcibly extracted and entered the Void God sword. A figure escaped from the black energy. It turned into a skeleton in the sky. I didn't think that the Void God sword would be so effective against my curse. But so what if he did? He was already a cripple. Don't even think about cultivating in the future. Lotus Flower's voice came from the skeleton's mouth. Ling Xiao's eyes were filled with cold killing intent as he looked at the terrifying skeleton face. Old thing, it's time to settle the grudges between us. Hee, you don't need to say that. I'm already prepared to welcome you. Come to the necropolis of the gods. I'll give you 3 days. If you don't come, I'll crush your friend Mo Jiao's soul. Lotus Flower's laughter was still cold and indifferent, revealing an unquestionable tone. I'll be there. You old thing, just wash your neck and wait. Everything will end in the necropolis of the gods. Ling Xiao gradually calmed down. He had already decided to go to the necropolis of the gods to settle this matter after this battle. Otherwise, Lotus Flower would continue to stir up trouble. However, he was now thinking about another matter. Why did Lotus Flower appear at the moment when Yu Chen told him about the accident in the Immortal Palace? Was it just a coincidence? No, it definitely wasn't a coincidence. Perhaps the matter in the Immortal Palace was also very important. Lotus Flower didn't want him to go, so he limited him to 3 days. Do you dare to kill Mo Jiao? If you do that, you'll never be able to obtain your sovereign physique. Ling Xiao probed. You can try. Lotus Flower sneered. Child, do you think that a person forced into a desperate situation won't make a crazy choice? You're too powerful. You've completely disrupted my plans, and even killed the 3 ghost emperors that I had high hopes for. That's right, you're right. The Immortal Palace is indeed very important to me. But so what? You only have 3 days, just enough to reach the necropolis of the gods. You have to make a choice. Do you choose the Immortal Palace or the Mo Jiao? What a crafty old ghost. Ling Xiao obtained a lot of useful information from the other party's words. This battle had really hurt Lotus Flower, so much so that Lotus Flower had no choice but to stake it all. But this choice was something that Ling Xiao had to make. He thought for a while and said, "Let me see the Mo Jiao's soul." Of course. In the sky, a black ring appeared. Within the black ring, a scene was actually displayed. In the scene, the Mo Jiao's soul was trapped in a container. "Ling Xiao, don't worry about me. I'm just a cheap life," the Mo Jiao roared. But the scene suddenly disappeared. "I have to say that your friend is really great." At this time, he actually thought of sacrificing himself for the sake of the 4 regions and 9 worlds. "But will you be so decisive?" Lotus Flower asked. "Don't worry, I'll go to the necropolis of the gods. I'll definitely reach there within 3 days," Ling Xiao said indifferently. "Smart choice." Lotus Flower smiled. The skeleton in the sky completely dissipated. At this time, Yu Chen had already fainted. Ling Xiao sighed and put him into the Dongsheng Emperor ring. Perhaps after killing Emperor Lianhua, he would be able to cure this guy. But now he had no source of information. Everything had to be speculated by himself. Ling Xiao dragged his tired body and found the remaining 9 gold saints. He also called for an emergency meeting with Bai Yi, Yu Fanghua, Little Gold, Sheng Yu, and Lang Qingqing. He briefly recounted the events that had just transpired. "I know that everyone is very tired, but I can't ignore the matter of the Eternal Palace. I can't ignore the matter of the Mo Jiao either. So I've decided to split into 2 groups. Fanghua, Little Gold, you took 9 golden sage martial artists to the Immortal Palace and almost destroyed Emperor Lianhua's plans. Also, Long Chen and Cold Plum should have already gone there. The situation isn't as difficult as you think. Supreme Emperor Bai Yi and I will go to the necropolis of the gods to fight Lotus Flower." Ling Xiao made his decision. Chapter 4991. "No way. I want to go with you." Yu Fanghua rejected directly. "Boss, I want to go with you too." Little Gold said, "Fanghua, don't forget that bitch Tu Yao. I might have already planted the departed spirit fruit tree. You are the only one who can save those people. And Little Gold, I want you to protect Fanghua for me. Are you going to reject me?" Ling Xiao said coldly, "Don't think that I'm just randomly assigning people. My decision is made after careful consideration. Lotus Flower is probably betting everything on the Eternal Palace's plan. Your side is the most troublesome. As for Lotus Flower, just leave it to me. Or do you not trust me?" Yu Fanghua and Little Gold fell silent. They hoped to stay with Ling Xiao from the bottom of their hearts. No matter how dangerous it was, they did not care. However, logic told them that the Eternal Palace's situation was equally complicated. Only by following Ling Xiao's arrangements would they have a chance of winning this battle. "Xiao, you must win." Yu Fanghua took a deep breath. "You must remember that I'll always be waiting for you." "Boss, me too. You must win." Little Gold clenched her fists and said, "You guys have to be careful too. Even though the 3 Ghost Emperors have been killed, the 3 Ghost Emperors have all been killed. Although the 3 Great Emperors have been killed, the Beast Emperor's current strength is still unknown. In addition, the Dragon Shaman's whereabouts are still unknown. This is also a problem. If Lotus Flower really wants to stake it all, he will definitely send all his forces to the Eternal Palace. Don't underestimate the enemy." After the discussion, everyone rested for a while and used the elixir pills that Ling Xiao gave them to recover while hurrying towards the Eternal Palace. No one knew the current situation of the Eternal Palace, so they had to hurry. As the saying goes, it's easier to dodge a spear in the open than an arrow in the dark. A conspiracy in the dark was really impossible to guard against. Ever since the Eternal Emperor region joined Ling Xiao's command, the border defense was strong and reliable. The departed spirit race could not find a chance to invade. However, a traitor was born at this time, and it had an extremely important effect. At a certain defensive line at the border, inside a very sturdy checkpoint, a general was having his meal. In recent days, although the undead race had tried to pass through the line of defense, they had been unable to do so because of the formation. This allowed the cultivators of the Eternal Emperor region to relax a little. At this moment, someone came to report that the Eternal Life Palace had sent an envoy to inspect the defensive situation. The general hurriedly put down his bowl and chopsticks and walked out. Many people knew the young woman. She was Tu Yao, the daughter of Tu Hontian, one of the 4 great paragons of the Eternal Emperor region. After that incident, Yu Qiushui, who was in charge of the Eternal Emperor region, didn't make things difficult for Tu Yao. Instead, he gave Tu Yao a position so that the people of the Tu clan could stay in the Eternal Life Palace with peace of mind. There was no need to worry about getting even with him later. However, Yu Qiushui's actions did not make Tu Yao give up the hatred in her heart. This woman had chosen to work with Lotus Flower. There was no doubt in the checkpoint. After all, the token in Tu Yao's hand was not fake. The change happened in an instant. The experts following Tu Yao suddenly attacked. The general was killed before he could even react. They instantly occupied the control room of the formation and activated the defensive formation of the checkpoint. They let in a large number of undead experts led by the Beast Emperor. In the end, there were countless casualties in the checkpoint. The pitiful martial artists were turned into walking corpses as they screamed. There was only hatred in Tu Yao's heart. She didn't care about such a tragedy. Let your men stand guard here in case the higher-ups notice anything amiss. We will head straight for the Eternal Life Palace. This time, Lotus Flower wasn't satisfied with planting the undead fruit tree in a remote place. He ordered the Beast Emperor and Tu Yao to plant the fruit tree in the Eternal Life Palace and turn all the martial artists there into undead. The Beast Emperor informed Tu Yao and hurried on his way. Tu Yao followed after making arrangements for the checkpoint. With her around, the Beast Emperor and the other undead experts had a smooth journey. They didn't encounter any obstructions. A few days later, they arrived at the Eternal Life Palace. At the same time, the war in the heavenly sacred grounds was still ongoing. After arriving at the Eternal Life Palace, Tu Yao asked the Beast Emperor to plant all the fruit trees in the Tu clan's residence. There was a barrier array here that could block the aura of the undead fruit tree. This way, Yu Qiushui wouldn't be able to detect it easily. When the undead fruit tree bloomed, the barrier array would be removed. Even if Yu Qiushui discovered it, it would be useless. Yu Fenghua, Little Gold, and the 9 gold sage martial artists from the heavenly sacred grounds had already set off for the Eternal Life Palace. Xing Yu didn't leave. Under Ling Zhao's arrangements, he was seizing the time to set up defenses at the borders of the heavenly sacred grounds. On the other side, Long Chen and Cold Plum had also received Ling Zhao's notice and set off a day later. As for Ling Xiao and Bai Yi, they were rushing to the graveyard of the gods. Bringing Bai Yi along was to fulfill Bai Ye's wish. Bai Yi didn't have much longer to live. He should have died long ago, but the matter with Lotus Flower made him insist on living. His purpose of living was to get rid of Lotus Flower. If Ling Xiao couldn't defeat Lotus Flower, Bai Yi would help him with all his strength. Until he died in battle, everyone was very busy and had their own things to do. They were all working hard for the peace of the 4 regions and 9 worlds. Perhaps the road ahead was filled with danger, and there was the danger of losing their lives, but no one gave up halfway. No one gave up. Are you worried? Bai Yi asked when he saw the worry in Ling Zhao's eyes. Ling Xiao didn't hide it. He nodded and said, "How can I not be worried? My woman and my brothers are all there. If anything happens to any of them, I won't be able to accept it. Although I trust them and believe in their strength, I can't help but be worried. I hope Long Chen and Cold Plum can make it in time. With the 4 of them there, the success rate will greatly increase. Although I can't say 100%, I'm 90% sure." "Definitely," Bai Yi said. Although it didn't make much sense, he still believed in it. Moreover, they had their own missions now, which might be even more difficult. They didn't have time to worry about the other side of the battlefield. The two of them were extremely fast. Two streaks of light, one black and one white, glided across the sky like meteors. "Hey, Ling Xiao, are you crazy?" Yu Qin woke up in the Dongsheng Emperor Ring. When he found out that Ling Xiao was heading towards the graveyard of the gods, he couldn't help but shout. "Don't you know that what Emperor Lianhua wants the most right now is his sovereign physique? If you go now, you'll just be walking into a trap. Once that guy obtains the sovereign physique, he'll be in his strongest state. The 4 regions and 9 worlds will lose all hope. Are you saying that I should give up on Mo Jiao?" Ling Xiao said coldly. "I know that he's your good brother and friend, but don't lose sight of the big picture. Can Mo Jiao compare to the 4 regions and 9 worlds?" Yu Chen said, Chapter 4992. Normal people might think that Yu Chen's words made sense. The most sensible thing for Ling Xiao to do now was to stay away from Lotus Flower and not throw his life away. But Ling Xiao was a madman. He wasn't normal. "Your statement is based on the premise that I have failed. In my opinion, Mo Jiao is as important as the 4 regions and 9 worlds. If I can't even save Mo Jiao, how can I save the 4 regions and 9 worlds? If I choose Mo Jiao, the 4 regions and 9 worlds might fall into a calamity. But that's just a possibility. If I abandon Mo Jiao, he will definitely die. It's not up to you to tell me what to do." Ling Xiao's will was very firm. Once he had decided on something, no one could change his mind, no matter who tried to persuade him. "You're a madman." Yu Qin shook his head helplessly. He didn't have any strength left. Even if he wanted to stop Ling Xiao, he couldn't do it. But even if he had the strength, he might not necessarily stop him, because he realized that he was very envious of Mo Jiao. Mo Jiao had Ling Xiao as a friend. It was really worth it. Don't worry. Even if the worst-case scenario is that he obtains the body of the sovereign, so what? I'll still kill him. Ling Xiao smiled. That's because you don't understand how terrifying that guy is. Forget it. There's no point in telling you this. Yu Qin gave up. He stopped talking and closed his eyes to sleep. Ling Xiao and Bai Yi quickly arrived at the camp of the Beast Deities Alliance in the chaotic desert. What he didn't expect was that the Beast Deities Alliance's Alliance Master had actually reclaimed this place. Qin Huang and Qin Qin were also here. "Ling Xiao, why are you here?" Seeing Ling Xiao appear in front of the graveyard of the gods, the 3 of them were very shocked. This was Lotus Flower's nest. Although Lotus Flower hadn't done anything in the chaotic desert recently, this place was still very dangerous. "Of course, I'm here to deal with Emperor Lianhua," Ling Xiao said. "It's time to put an end to this. Otherwise, who knows how much trouble this guy will cause. Oh, right, the 2 of you should eat this expert advancement pill." Ling Xiao needed help now. Whether it was the Beast Deities Alliance Master, Qin Huang, or Qin Qin, all of them had the potential to become powerful combatants. This was especially true for Qin Huang, who was a genius from Heaven's Wall City. The expert advancement pill should have a better effect on him. "There's no hurry, but if you listen to me, you'd better not go in now. Since Lotus Flower dared to let you come, it means that he has already set up an inescapable net. I'm just waiting for you to enter. You said that you would lead the 4 regions and 9 realms out of the shackles of this small place and into a stronger and greater place. Could it be that this was all bullshit? If you die, there will be nothing left." Although the Alliance Master of the Beast Deities Alliance had submitted to Ling Xiao, he was still a senior after all. He was extremely displeased with Ling Xiao's reckless actions. "Supreme Emperor White Knight, why don't you persuade him? After all, he's just a child. He doesn't consider many aspects. Why should I persuade him?" White Knight said indifferently, "Before everyone makes a choice, they won't know what the outcome of the choice will be. Do you dare to say that your choice is right? Although I don't know if Ling Xiao will succeed. But right now, there's no other way. But even if he wants to fight with Lotus Flower, it should be outside. The graveyard of the gods has already become Lotus Flower's nest. If we force our way in, I'm afraid it's not good. The Beast Deity's Alliance Master still couldn't figure out why White Knight, who was such an intelligent person, would allow Ling Xiao to do as he pleased. So what? Ling Xiao's voice gradually turned cold. He took out his dignity as the supreme of the 4 regions and 9 realms. The Beast Deity's Alliance Master was a little scared, but he still gritted his teeth and said, "Emo, Jiao is my son. I'll go save him, but you can't go. You'll go?" Ling Xiao shook his head and said, "I'm a straightforward person, don't blame me. With your strength, you won't even be able to see Lotus Flower. Forget it." Although these words were very hurtful, they were the truth. The Beast Deity's Alliance Master's current strength couldn't be compared to Ling Xiao's. Ling Xiao could kill him with just one finger. You're telling the truth, and I admit it, but you need cannon fodder, right? In order to save Mo Jiao, I'm willing to be the cannon fodder and step into the trap. This way, you'll have a higher chance of seeing Lotus Flower. You'll have a higher chance of killing him. After a moment of silence, the Beast Deity's Alliance Master suddenly clenched his fists and said, "Let me be a hero for once. Moreover, it's for my son. I once stood by and watched you die because of my cowardice, causing my relationship with Mo Jiao to deteriorate. Also, I'm old. Before I die, I have to do something. I can't watch you risk your life alone." Looking at this old man, Ling Xiao's eyes were a little moist. No matter if it was White Knight or the Beast Deity's Alliance Master, they were all prepared to sacrifice their lives at any moment to save the 4 regions and 9 worlds. Compared to them, the Eternal Emperor, the Beast Emperor, and the Dragon Shaman were too weak. "Let him go." Before Ling Xiao could make a decision, Bai Yi said, "We're willing to sacrifice our lives because we trust you. We're willing to bet everything on you. Whether we die in vain or die a worthy death, it's all up to you. If we can help you kill Lotus Flower, then our deaths will be worth it." Without waiting for Ling Xiao to say anything, the Beast Deity's Alliance Master swallowed a powerhouse advancement pill and entered the graveyard of the gods. Ling Xiao couldn't stop him even if he wanted to. Don't waste his good intentions. Let's wait patiently. If he doesn't come out, then we'll go in. Bai Yi grabbed Ling Xiao's shoulder, and one could see that his eyes were also glistening with tears. "I know." Ling Xiao gritted his teeth and sat down cross-legged. They had rushed here rather quickly, and it had only been 2 days. Therefore, they had 1 more day to wait. If the Beast Deity's Alliance Master still didn't come out by then, he would still go in. He couldn't let the Beast Deity's Alliance Master's sacrifice be in vain. Qin Huang and Qin Qin swallowed 3 powerhouse advancement pills and started to cultivate at the side. They both hoped to increase their cultivation before Ling Xiao entered the graveyard of the gods. That way, they would be able to help Ling Xiao even more. At the same time, in the 2 family of the Eternal Palace, the seeds of the 10 departed spirit fruit trees had already sprouted and were growing rapidly. There wasn't much time left before they bloomed. Looking at these fruit trees, Tu Yao's eyes were filled with intense hatred and killing intent. "Just you wait, Ling Xiao. I'm going to destroy everything around you. I'm going to completely destroy everything you cherish. Your woman should be coming. But it's okay. I've already sent people to wait for her. When you come back, you'll find her corpse hanging on the walls of the Eternal Palace." Tu Yao said fiercely. She hated Ling Xiao, but it wasn't because Ling Xiao had killed her father. It was because Ling Xiao had humiliated her and made her an idiot in everyone's eyes. This was something she couldn't accept. Chapter 4993. The departed spirit fruit tree was about to bloom. Horan. When? W. R. A. W E Na C O M M. An excited smile appeared on the Beast Emperor's face. Tu Yao, or did you see that? We're about to succeed. The moment it blooms, the entire Eternal Palace will become a living hell. You did well. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have been able to sneak into the Eternal Palace so easily. We wouldn't have planted the departed spirit fruit tree here either. It would have aroused the suspicion of the Eternal Palace experts. Ha ha ha! Looks like we're going to make a huge contribution this time. The Eternal Palace owes me and my family. Serves them right. Tu Yao. Ai's face revealed a sinister expression. Blame that idiot Yu Qiushui. She actually trusted me. How long more until it blooms? Half an hour at most. The Beast Emperor replied, You're worried that Ling Xiao and his group will come and cause trouble, right? Don't worry, we've already formed the tightest blockade. Even if they come, it's useless. They're just a few 6th-level divine physique echelon trash. I'll just kill them for you. Tu Yao, or didn't say anything, but she felt that things might not be that simple. Underestimating Ling Xiao would have to pay a heavy price. This wasn't the first time. After another quarter of an hour, the undead fruit tree had already sprouted buds. The current aura was so strong that even the 2 residences barrier couldn't block this terrifying aura. Yu Qiushui and the rest of the Eternal Palace's higher-ups finally arrived. Seeing this scene, they were all shocked beyond words. Tu Yao, are you crazy? When did the people of the Eternal Palace ever let you down? How could you do such a thing? Yu Qiushui ordered people to attack the 2 residents as she rebuked. They're just some lowly people. I turned them into departed spirits just to help them. Tu Yao, or sneered, not looking guilty at all. If I knew this would happen, I would have killed you. Ling Xiao is right. People like you are hopeless. Yu Qiushui soared into the sky and charged toward the 2 residents. She wanted to destroy all 10 departed spirit fruit trees as soon as possible. Otherwise, once these departed spirit fruit trees grew, it would bring a devastating blow to the Eternal Palace. Stop her! Tu Yao lightly waved her hand, and 5 6th-level divine physique echelon experts actually scuttled out from the crowd. These people were originally martial artists around the early stage of the 5th level of the divine physique echelon and belonged to the Tu clan. After consuming the heart of a powerhouse, his strength rose to the early stage of the 6th-level divine physique stage. Although it was not as good as the current Yu Qiushui, blocking Yu Qiushui was not a problem at all. Yu Qiushui had consumed the expert advancement pill before, and it was sent over by Longqin. Therefore, her cultivation had already advanced to the peak of the 6th level of the divine physique echelon. However, even so, she couldn't break free from the 5 6th-level divine physique echelon necromancers. It would take at least 10 minutes for the Eternal Palace's army to arrive. There was no way they could make it in time. The strength of the dozen or so warriors she had brought with her was not bad, but the other side had more undead powerhouses. For a moment, they couldn't even enter the 2 families' residence. Ha 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 ha! Yu Qiushui, just watch as the Eternal Life Palace turns into a living hell. You can only blame yourself for following Ling Xiao. This is the biggest mistake of your life. Tu Yao laughed maniacally. At that moment, she also swallowed the heart of a powerhouse. She didn't eat it previously because she didn't want to be discovered. However, since they were already public enemies now, it didn't matter anymore. You're crazy! Yu Qiushui killed a powerhouse blocking her way. As she cursed, she launched a frenzied attack. However, she still couldn't get close to the 2 families' residents in a short period of time. After all, there was still the Beast Emperor holding the fort there. Just as Yu Qiushui was in utter despair, 2 figures tore through the void and arrived at an extremely terrifying speed. A beam of golden light was extremely scorching. A beam of blue light was extremely cold. Who is it? When the Beast Emperor saw the two beams of light shooting over, he only had time to raise his head to take a look. The two beams of light suddenly landed. The golden light burned an entire undead fruit tree. The blue light froze the other undead fruit tree and exploded it. Seeing this, the Beast Emperor and Tu Yaoer were infuriated. However, Yu Qiushui was pleasantly surprised. The reinforcements had finally arrived. The two beams of light that landed disappeared and two people appeared. One was as beautiful as a fairy from the heavens. The other was energetic and filled with a ferocious aura like a wild beast. They were Yu Fenghua and Xiao Jin. Originally, they had rushed over with the 9 gold sage martial artists to provide reinforcements. However, they encountered trouble along the way. The 9 gold sage martial artists blocked the undead martial artists for them, and the two of them were able to rush over. Impossible! How could you be here? I received Lotus Flower's instructions early in the morning and deployed a large number of troops along the way, just to stop you. When Tu Yaoer saw the two of them appear, she couldn't believe her eyes. Could it be that the two of them had eliminated all the troops that she deployed? However, Xiao Jin and Yu Fenghua weren't in the mood to talk to her. After destroying 2 undead fruit trees, they headed toward the rest of the undead fruit trees. In order to better control the aura of these undead fruit trees, Tu Yaoer chose to plant 10 of them in the 2 residents. This also allowed them to complete the mission given by Ling Xiao in the shortest time possible. Crack! Boom! Another 2 undead fruit trees were destroyed. Damn it, you want to ruin our plans. The Beast Emperor was furious. He stopped Xiao Jin from attacking. The current Beast Emperor was perhaps even stronger than the evil Fire Ghost Emperor. Moreover, he knew Xiao Jin very well. It wouldn't be easy for Xiao Jin to defeat him. Scram! Xiao Jin suddenly attacked the Beast Emperor. As the master of the Beast Palace, you're willing to become someone else's puppet. You even used your own people as experiments. How despicable! Today, I will rid the savage beast region of this evil. You! The two of them began to fight wildly. At the same time, Yu Fenghua destroyed another undead fruit tree. At this point, half of the undead fruit trees had been destroyed. However, as long as a single one of them remained, it would be a serious threat. Moreover, it seemed that they didn't have enough time. The undead fruit trees had already bloomed. The dense fragrance began to infect the nearby martial artists. The 2 family members were the first to suffer. Apart from the experts who'd consumed the heart of the strong, everyone else had become mindless walking corpses. Aunt Qiushui, the pouch. Ling Xiao gave you the pouch. If you don't use it now, when are you going to use it? Yu Fenghua shouted when she saw that they couldn't destroy all the undead fruit trees. Yu Qiushui instantly came to her senses. She hurriedly took out the pouch she'd kept close to her body. Ling Xiao had given it to her before he left. He'd said that she was to use it when the undead fruit trees appeared. She'd been so nervous just now that she'd forgotten about it. Fortunately, Yu Fenghua had reminded her. She opened the brocade pouch and found an exquisite array refining stone. She tossed it out. The next moment, the undead fruit tree's fragrance was completely sealed off by the formation. The smaller the formation, the better it was. The harder it was to break through. Currently, the undead fruit tree's fragrance was only spreading within the 2 family residents. The range was very small. Therefore, the effect of this array formation was extremely good. Chapter 4994. With the barrier of the array, the flower fragrance couldn't spread. Otherwise, if the flower fragrance spread, they would fall into a huge tragedy like the Wind Wolf Nation. Those living in the Wind Wolf Nation could naturally recover. However, a large number of martial artists were killed by the infected martial artists and fell into an eternal slumber. No one wanted to see such a tragedy happen. Bastard! How dare you ruin our good deed? Tu Yao! Oi's expression became even more ferocious. However, even though she had swallowed the heart of a powerhouse, she wasn't very strong. Therefore, she couldn't stop Yufanghua from destroying the departed spirit fruit tree. At this moment, she made a crazy choice. She fused with one of the departed spirit fruit trees. This was a secret technique she had learned from the Beast Emperor. After the fusion, she had the power of the departed spirit fruit tree. Countless tree vines shot toward Yufanghua, trying to kill Yufanghua. Yufanghua instantly felt troubled. Although the current Tu Yao might not be her match, it wasn't a problem for her to stop her. If the departed spirit fruit tree was allowed to continue growing, Ling Zhao's array might not be able to withstand it. Moreover, a large number of departed spirits had appeared from underground. Although the number couldn't be compared to the heaven's sacred ground, there were close to 10 million of them. These fellows fearlessly crashed into the formation and then chose to self-destruct. Every time the terrifying energy exploded, the array formation would be weakened. Oh no! Aunt Qiushui, just in case, get the martial artists of the Eternal Palace to leave the Eternal Palace. Just leave the divine body, realm martial artists behind. Everyone else leave. Yufanghua shouted as she fought with Tu Yao. Yu Qiushui nodded and immediately gave the order. After all, martial artists below the divine body realm couldn't withstand the flower fragrance of the departed spirit fruit tree. Chaos spread in the Eternal Life Palace. However, since the departed spirit fruit tree was controlled in advance, the situation was already considered good. A bunch of idiots. Why did you resist the lotus flower's gift? Don't you practice martial arts for the sake of immortality? Now that the Emperor has given you the chance to live forever, what are you dissatisfied with? You actually chose to resist? All right. Since that's the case, you can wait to be destroyed. Ling Xiao can't save you. He might not even be able to protect himself now. Tu Yao laughed maniacally. Although the situation wasn't as smooth as they had imagined, it wasn't out of control. As long as they killed Yufanghua, Yu Qiushui, and Yu Qiushui, the Eternal Palace's people. Yu Qiushui led the divine body realm martial artists from the Eternal Life Palace to attack the departed spirits that were trying to destroy the formation. It was a race against time. The more time he could buy, the more people from the Eternal Life Palace could escape. Lightless sun and moon, you should go and help as well. Destroying the formation will be our victory. There was another person behind Heavenly King. It was Luna Wuguang. He too came from Heavenly King City. Yufanghua didn't have time to think about why Heavenly King was still alive. She could sense that Heavenly King's aura was stronger than when he was in Wind Wolf country. But there were many unfamiliar auras in this guy's body. He didn't look like a human at all. He had turned into a monster. His mouth was wide open like a beast's. His eyes were red. His body was 5 meters tall. There were even 18 neatly symmetrical strange bones on its back. These bones were pure white like jade, but they gave off a terrifying aura of death. It was very uncomfortable. Are you really Heavenly King? Yufanghua was stunned. She didn't remember Heavenly King's aura being like this. She also believed that Ling Xiao had killed this guy. Is it important whether I'm Heavenly King or not? The monster smiled faintly. You're smart. My body's foundation comes from Heavenly King. But the essence of death is made up of 100,000 souls. I'm much stronger than that trash Heavenly King. You can call me Ghost Emperor Tianming. Ghost Emperor Tianming. Yufanghua frowned. Previously, he had defeated the 3 Ghost Emperors under Lotus Flower. She didn't expect Ghost Emperor Tianming and the Beast Emperor to be as strong as the Ghost Emperor. However, that should be all. No wonder Ling Xiao said that the Eternal Palace was very important. It was clear from how important Lotus Flower was. Xiao, don't worry. I won't embarrass you. Yufanghua looked at Ghost Emperor Tianming. So what if he was strong? She still wanted to win. Hee hee, looks like you're very brave. But courage isn't enough to win on the battlefield. You have to be strong. Without Ling Xiao's protection, how long can you last? Ghost Emperor Tian Ming laughed maniacally. I think you've misunderstood. I'll show my weak side in front of my man, but I won't do that in front of the enemy. Yu Fanghua said calmly. If Ling Xiao was here, he would definitely pray for Ghost Emperor Tianming. In fact, Ling Xiao knew that Yu Fanghua had awakened part of the Moon Lady's power. This girl's growth speed wasn't any weaker than his. In fact, it was much faster than his. After all, the Moon Lady was the only one who had survived from 100,000 years ago. Even the kings of sovereigns were troubled by her strength. At this moment, the second batch of reinforcements from the Eternal Palace arrived. They were reinforcements from the Golden Sky region. As they were the closest to the Eternal Palace, they were the first to arrive. The Fire Emperor, Flower Emperor, Thunder Emperor, Yangshi, and many other divine physique echelon experts joined the battle. Their priority now was to protect the array and prevent the undead warriors from destroying it. With their help, the situation was much better, but their numbers were still too small. After all, only divine physique echelon experts could help. If only Cold Plum was here. Yu Fanghua muttered to herself. She knew from Ling Xiao that Cold Plum's ancient war tree could release an aura that was completely different from the departed spirit fruit tree to fight against infection. This way, even divine physique echelon experts could participate in the battle. Their chances of winning would be higher. Unfortunately, the Savage Beast region was too far away from the Eternal Emperor region. So Cold Plum couldn't arrive so quickly. They could only wait for reinforcements from the other forces. Yu Fanghua cast aside the distracting thoughts in her mind and looked at Ghost Emperor Tianming opposite her. She should deal with the problem in front of her first. Thinking of this, a bright moon appeared behind Yu Fanghua. Even her eyes were filled with the holy moonlight. Yu Fanghua wasn't angry. After being with Ling Xiao for a long time, she could control her emotions. Anger was the most useless emotion in the world. It would only make people lose their rationality and neglect details, causing them to make huge mistakes. Even though she hated these bastards for turning the Eternal Palace into a purgatory, killing intent was enough. There was no need for unnecessary anger. Chapter 4995. Yu Fanghua's eyes were filled with cold killing intent. A treasure appeared in her hand. It was a palace. It looked like the Eternal Life Temple, which was the place where only the Eternal Emperor was qualified to live in. This was one of the Eternal Life Temple's 2 Emperor weapons with 10 dragon patterns. The other one was the Hand of Eternal Life, which was now in Ling Xiao's hands. The Eternal Life Temple looked very small in Yu Fanghua's hands. However, it was emitting a terrifying aura. This made Ghost Emperor Tianyang's face turn ugly. It's a waste for you to have such a treasure with your strength. It's better for you to hand it over to me. Ghost Emperor Tianyong snorted, and his eyes were filled with endless greed. A pair of scarlet eyes stared unwaveringly at the magic treasure. You're just a lowly dog under Lotus Flower. What right do you have to compete with me? Yu Fanghua said coldly as she accumulated her divine energy. I like to see arrogant women being stepped on. The more arrogant you are, the better. The moment you're defeated, I'll feel a greater sense of accomplishment. I really want to see what kind of expression Ling Xiao will have when he sees your corpse. Ha ha ha. I'm really looking forward to it. Ghost Emperor Tianyong laughed maniacally. He was afraid of Ling Xiao, but that didn't mean he was afraid of Yu Fanghua. You have to have the ability first. Otherwise, you'll fall into hell forever. Yu Fanghua said indifferently and wasn't afraid of the other party's threats. On one hand, it was because she was determined. On the other hand, it was because she was strong enough. If she wasn't strong enough, she definitely wouldn't make a move recklessly. That would only cause trouble for others. What laughable confidence! Soon, you won't say that anymore. Kill. Ghost Emperor Tianyong didn't waste any more words with Yufanghua. This was because he realized that no matter how he threatened or wavered, it wouldn't work. Rather than wasting his breath, he might as well make a move. He had to kill Yufanghua as soon as possible. Otherwise, the departed spirit fruit tree would not be able to release its fragrance for a long time. Once it bore fruit, it would lose its effect. Its sharp claws mercilessly clawed at Yufanghua. Yufanghua could see that the pair of claws made of metal material was clearly a treasure of the Emperor artifact level with 9 dragon patterns. Even though it wasn't as powerful as the Shrine of Eternal Life, it wouldn't be easy to destroy it. Tianyong Ghost Emperor didn't have the slightest intention of going easy on her with his sharp claws and powerful aura. In his eyes, no matter how beautiful a woman was, she was still an enemy. Although he was no longer a pure Sky Sage, he was still using Sky Sage's body. Therefore, his resentment towards Ling Xiao was ingrained in his bones. Yufanghua was Ling Xiao's woman. If he wanted Ling Xiao to suffer, the best way was to kill this woman, or he could turn this woman into a mindless undead. You'll find out soon enough who's the laughable one. Yufenghua's eyes flashed with a scornful sneer. The Shrine of Eternal Life in her hand suddenly expanded. It blasted towards Tianyong Ghost Emperor's claws with terrifying power. At this moment, the Shrine of Eternal Life was enveloped in a ball of moonlight that exuded an extremely powerful, chilling power. Yufanghua called this move Moon Palace. It's useless. You can't unleash the full power of the Shrine of Eternal Life. Tianyong Ghost Emperor sneered as if he could already see Yufanghua being torn apart by the claws. At that moment, he was filled with joy. Ling Xiao, just you wait. After I deal with your woman, it'll be your turn soon. When that time comes, don't run away. However, just as this thought formed in his mind, his face was filled with extreme shock. A terrifying power was released from the Shrine of Eternal Life. He felt as if he had collided with a mountain, and his entire body was suddenly sent flying. He even spat out a mouthful of blood. His arms were frozen by the terrifying coldness. What? Tianyong Ghost Emperor wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. Although the blood was pitch black, it was indeed blood. He was injured. He was injured by his opponent in one move. Although his opponent's Shrine of Eternal Life was of a higher level than his Nether Ghost Claw. But it shouldn't be to this extent. You're not at the 6th level of the Divine Physique Echelon. Tianyong Ghost Emperor suddenly thought of this question. The information on Yufenghua's cultivation was from 10 days ago. After all, Yufanghua had been by Ling Xiao's side during this period of time. It wasn't easy to investigate her information. He couldn't rule out the possibility that Yufenghua's cultivation had broken through within 10 days. Congratulations, you're right. Yufanghua looked at Tianyong Ghost Emperor indifferently. From the moment you underestimated my existence, you were destined to lose this battle. Arrogant. So what if you broke through? I didn't use my full strength just now. Moreover, I have an immortal body. I've been in an undefeatable position since the beginning. What do you have to fight me with? Tianyong Ghost Emperor roared. Amidst his furious roar, a black gas suddenly flashed around Tianyong Ghost Emperor. A ball of black light completely enveloped this guy. A violent aura shrouded the entire Tu family. It was as if a gust of wind had blown. Everything around him was flung away. Those who were fighting nearby had no choice but to temporarily avoid it. Yufanghua looked coldly at Tianyong Ghost Emperor's transformation, but didn't make a move. Only by defeating the other party in his strongest state would he be able to completely destroy the other party's confidence. Finally, Tianyong Ghost Emperor completed his transformation. His body became taller. His entire body was covered with a thick layer of scales. These scales were like a sturdy shield. Most of the attacks were ineffective. Moreover, not only did his defense increase, but his speed and strength also improved significantly. Transformation completed. Yu Fenghua said indifferently, then die. This time, Yu Fenghua attacked first without waiting for Tianyong Ghost Emperor to attack. Both parties exchanged blows again. Yu Fenghua could clearly feel that Tianyong Ghost Emperor had become stronger. But so what? She could still suppress him. In the next 10 minutes of battle, it was basically Yu Fenghua attacking Tianyong Ghost Emperor. Tianyong Ghost Emperor didn't even have a chance to retaliate. He could only defend with all his might. During this time, the reinforcements from the 4 regions and 9 worlds arrived one after another. A large number of divine body realm experts came to help, greatly reducing the speed of the formation's destruction. This gave the Eternal Palace a chance. It gave the 4 regions and 9 worlds a chance. The only reinforcements that hadn't arrived yet were the Gold Sage martial artists who were in the middle of a fierce battle, as well as the Savage Beast region experts led by Long Chen and Cold Plum. However, this situation was already very good. With Ling Zhao's hard work, the 4 regions and 9 worlds had completed their unification. Now, they were united against external enemies. This was something unimaginable in the past. The battle here was in full swing. The Eternal Palace wouldn't be in any danger for the time being. On the other side, outside the graveyard of the gods, Ling Xiao, Bai Yi, Qin Huang, and Qin Qin were still waiting for the Beast Deities Alliance's leader to return. After Qin Huang consumed the Expert Advancement Elixir, his cultivation rose to the late-stage 7th level Divine Body Realm. This person was indeed a genius from Tianyong City. In terms of talent, he was probably much more outstanding than the deceased Eternal Emperor. Chapter 4996. After Qin Qin consumed the Expert Advancement Elixir, her cultivation only rose to the early stage of the 7th level of the Divine Body Realm. However, this was already very outstanding, as expected of someone from the Heaven's Wall City. Ling Xiao realized that there was a lot of energy in their bodies, and the Expert Advancement Elixir was equivalent to releasing this energy. It allowed them to improve much more than the martial artists in the 4 regions and 9 worlds. Even so, everyone was a little happy. Half an hour had passed, and the leader of the Beast Deities Alliance only sent a message after 10 minutes. There was only one word: trap. After that, there was no more news. Ling Xiao stood up with a gloomy face. It's time to go in. I'm afraid the leader of the Beast Deities Alliance has met with misfortune. He shouldn't be dead. Even if he was discovered, I believe with Lotus Flower's vile personality, he would only turn him into his subordinate. Bai Yi analyzed. It would be great if that was the case. Ling Xiao said, what does that mean? The others didn't understand. If he was turned into a dead spirit, wouldn't he have to kill each other? That was fine. Ling Xiao was about to explain when he suddenly stopped. There's movement. Be prepared. The leader of the Beast Deities Alliance might not be the one coming out. Ling Xiao called out, and everyone immediately went into battle mode. Although they didn't want to believe it, the possibility of the leader of the Beast Deities Alliance meeting with misfortune was very high. The few of them were very nervous. They were even imagining that the leader of the Beast Deities Alliance had completed the scouting mission and returned unscathed. Even if he was slightly injured, it wouldn't be fatal. Finally, a figure dashed out from the darkness. What they saw was a man covered in cuts and bruises. Both his arms were gone, and his body was covered in wounds. His legs were probably injured as well, but they were treated locally. He was probably trying to escape. It's him, the leader of the Beast Deities Alliance. Qin Qin rushed forward to treat his injuries. However, Qin Huang stopped her at that moment. Ling Xiao even took action and suppressed the leader of the Beast Deities Alliance with the ancient blood jade talisman. What are you doing? Qin Qin was kind-hearted, but sometimes she was too naive. Until now, she still didn't understand what her brother and Ling Xiao were doing. By Yi's side, he's already infected. Only now did Qin realize that the Alliance Master of Beast Deities' eyes revealed a ferocity that did not belong to humans. Although this was the only anomaly with her intelligence, she was able to associate it with an unfortunate disaster. Your reaction is quite fast, as expected of my enemies. Lotus Flower's voice suddenly rang out from the Alliance Master of Beast God's mouth. But Ling Xiao, aren't you a bit too cowardly and selfish? You clearly know that this idiot is no match for me, but you still sent him to his death. That's right, this guy was very hardworking, very desperate, but reality was cruel. Sometimes, even if one tried their best and risked their lives, there was still no value. In order to comfort you, I deliberately sent his body out. You can do as you see fit. Kill him or be killed by him. Bastard! I'll kill you! Qin Huang roared furiously. To be honest, ever since he came to the 4 regions and 9 worlds, he had never hated a person so much. Lotus Flower, this executioner, this madman, treated human lives as a game. If it were not for Ling Xiao's existence, perhaps everyone in the 4 regions and 9 worlds would have become this scoundrel's sacrificial lambs. Even after conquering the 4 regions and 9 worlds, Lotus Flower would not stop. He would set his sights on Heaven's Wall City. That place would also become a purgatory. Ha 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 ha. Be angry, I like to see your angry expressions. Lotus Flower laughed maniacally. Ha ha ha. Ling Xiao suddenly laughed as well. This caused everyone to be stunned. This included Great Emperor Lianhua. He had seen many enemies, especially young ones. Those little idiots had always been toyed around by him. They only knew how to be angry and roar. They were completely useless. Only Ling Xiao, this fellow, was someone he still couldn't figure out. He even had an unprecedented fear of Ling Xiao. Every time this guy attacked, he would suffer heavy losses. What are you laughing at? Lotus Flower roared furiously. What am I laughing at? Do you know what I like to see the most? Ling Xiao did not answer the other party's question. Instead, he asked a question. You want to see me die? Lotus Flower answered tentatively. That's only one thing. Actually, I like to see your shocked expression even more. I like to see the fear on your face when you make a mistake in your calculations. You think you're the boss behind the scenes. You think you can calculate everything. Unfortunately, you underestimate the people in this world. Ling Xiao looked at the Alliance Master of the Beast Deities indifferently. You filthy thing. It's time for you to get out of his body. He suddenly had a thought. The Alliance Master of the Beast Deities' body shone with a blinding light. The next moment, a scream came from the void. Lotus Flower's distorted face appeared in the sky. Why, this is impossible. You knew he would fail, so you made preparations? Lotus Flower roared. You can say that. Ling Xiao said indifferently. If you had killed him, I wouldn't have been able to reverse the situation. But you arrogant guy, you tried to turn him into a dead spirit to make us lose our minds. You made us suffer. You fulfilled the conditions for me to activate my secret technique. As the light continued to flicker, the black gas in the Alliance Master of the Beast Deity's body was completely destroyed. The Alliance Master of the Beast Deity's eyes regained clarity, but his injuries were still very serious. Qin, save him! Ling Xiao called out to Qin. Then he looked at the distorted face in the sky and said, Even so, I'll still take revenge on you. I should have hurt your soul just now. Don't worry, next time, I'll definitely take your life. Ling Xiao, I'll definitely grind your bones to dust. Do you think you're so smart? Don't forget, I still have the demonic flood dragon soul. No matter how smart you are, you still have to make a deal with me and give me the D-Zune physique. Lotus Flower laughed maniacally and disappeared. Let's go in. Qin, you stay outside and take care of the Alliance Master of the Beast Deities. Ling Xiao's face was expressionless. He was as cold as a block of ice. However, those who were familiar with him knew that he was extremely furious at this moment. But he was someone who was good at controlling his emotions. He would never show his anger on his face, because it was easy to lose his mind. Wait. After Chin's treatment, the Alliance Master of the Beast Deities could finally speak, but his voice was very soft, because he was still too weak. Don't go in. It's really a trap inside. The Alliance Master of the Beast Deities had gone in once, so his words were absolutely trustworthy. But Ling Xiao shook his head. Some things can't be avoided. Mobile version update website. Chapter 4997. In this world, there were some things that couldn't be avoided. Moreover, Ling Xiao's personality didn't allow him to escape. Moreover, he felt that he was very rational now. Previously, he had been suppressing his desire to fight and didn't come here. It was because he felt that his combat power wasn't enough. Now he felt that it was time. The problems that needed to be solved had to be solved. He couldn't delay any longer. Heaven's Wall City, Eternal Divine Kingdom, and Ancient Race were still waiting for him. He couldn't stay in the 4 regions and 9 worlds forever. Have you really thought it through? Bai Yi looked at Ling Xiao and asked, I have. For this kind of thing, no matter how well prepared I am, there are still many variables. Perhaps this is what they mean by man proposes, God disposes. However, it's definitely not my personality to be afraid because of this. I've already promised so much. If I don't do it, who will I be worthy of? So many people sacrifice their lives because they believed in me. I don't want to be a person who doesn't keep his word. Moreover, I'm very confident. That's right. Bai Yi nodded. We've been through so many difficulties. This time, we'll definitely be able to get through it. Although we're all in different battlefields now, we're all trying our best. But we are all trying our best to survive. He made a decision in the depths of his heart. No matter what, he had to let Ling Xiao live. Anyway, he was already prepared to sacrifice himself. He believed that Ling Xiao wouldn't let him die in vain. Let's go in together. Ling Xiao stepped into the graveyard of the gods. At the same time, the battle at Eternal Palace was also in a stalemate. The battle was very intense. From time to time, people would be sacrificed. Every dead human martial artist was hoping for one thing in their hearts. That was that the person they had high hopes for could successfully kill Lotus Flower. This way, the 4 regions and 9 worlds would welcome true peace, although the scale of the battle was much smaller than the one at Heaven Holy Land. However, the degree of danger wasn't bad at all. Blood dyed the ground red. The air was filled with the thick smell of blood. 2 Yao emerged with the departed spirit fruit tree and attacked the array madly. Dim Sun and Moon was also attacking the array. Countless departed spirits were attacking the array, because this array was the key to stopping the departed spirit fruit tree from infecting the Eternal Palace warriors. It had to be destroyed, otherwise Lotus Flower's plan would fail. On the human side, Yu Qiushui, the Fire King, and the other divine body, realm martial practitioners from the 4 regions and 9 worlds were guarding the formation fearlessly. The 2 sides engaged in the most tragic battle. Within the formation, Little Gold was battling the Beast Emperor, although the Beast Emperor was no longer as strong as him. However, this old fellow had already fused with the departed spirit fruit tree. Their battle prowess was not to be underestimated, and they were very difficult to kill. Xiao Jin had to do everything he could to destroy him. The battle between Yu Fanghua and Ghost Emperor Tianming was also in full swing. In this battle, Yu Fanghua had displayed her powerful combat prowess. Even though Tianyong Ghost Emperor was incomparably strong, he was still suppressed by Yu Fanghua. The reason why Ghost Emperor Tianyong was still alive was because of the special physique of the undead race. It was almost impossible to die. Yu Fanghua had already destroyed Ghost Emperor Tianming's body twice. However, she had only used up a mere 1% of Ghost Emperor Tianming's divine energy twice. She was still far from killing him. The problem now was that Yu Fenghua did not have much divine energy left. Following the continuous depletion, her combat prowess had decreased. On the other hand, Ghost Emperor Tianyong, as he still had 3 departed spirit fruit trees to provide him with energy, he could continue fighting for a long time. Yu Fenghua knew this very well. Hence, she had to end the battle quickly. Hence, her attacks became even more ferocious and swift. Ghost Emperor Tianyong complained incessantly. His body was destroyed again. Even his departed spirit essence was almost crushed. Ghost Emperor Tianyong was truly afraid now. No, if this continues, I will definitely be killed by this B*TCH. Ghost Emperor Tianming still had a final move. He had wanted to save it to deal with Ling Xiao. Since Ling Xiao had already gone to the graveyard of the gods, he would definitely die. Now he could use it. This time, when he reformed his body, he chose to fuse with the last 3 departed spirit fruit trees. He had no choice but to do so. Otherwise, he would definitely not be a match for Yu Fenghua. Boom! The moment they fused, a terrifying energy exploded. It caused Yu Fenghua to be sent flying. The 2 families' houses collapsed continuously. Many departed spirits were implicated and died tragically on the spot. When the dust settled, Ghost Emperor Tianyong appeared again. At this moment, his height had actually grown to about 15 meters. His huge body produced an extremely strong pressure. This caused Yu Fenghua to frown. The most terrifying thing was that this guy's strength had advanced to the peak of the 7th level divine body realm at that moment. He had reached the level of the great devil emperor. See, Yu Fenghua, you have no hope. The current me is an invincible existence in the 4 regions and 9 worlds. Not only can you not defeat me, but even Ling Xiao cannot defeat me. I said that I would kill you, so I will definitely kill you. I said that I would hang your corpse on the city wall. I will not go back on my words. I will make Ling Xiao suffer. I will make you suffer. Ghost Emperor Tianyong laughed maniacally. In order to make you feel even more despair, I have something good to show you. Come out, black fiend, evil dragon. Following his wild roar, a huge black-boned dragon tore through the void and crawled out. Just its head alone was enough to shock everyone. When its body completely emerged from the void, it was so huge that it could blot out the sky. Because of its appearance, the array that blocked the fragrance of the flowers had to be expanded a little. This way, the thickness of the barrier would be even thinner. It would also be more dangerous. This black fiend evil dragon was at least 1,000 meters long. Its huge body produced a huge deterrent. It was even more deterrent than Ghost Emperor Tianyong. Although its strength was not as strong as Ghost Emperor Tianyong, its body was still shocking. At that moment, many people felt a little hopeless and discouraged. Why did such a monster suddenly appear when they were about to win? What should they do now? Ha 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 ha, see, Yu Fenghua. You have no hope at all. Today, all of you will become the Black Fiend Evil Dragon's delicacies. Ghost Emperor Tianyong laughed maniacally. The Black Fiend Evil Dragon made him even more confident. Now that they had suddenly gained such a powerful combat force, they should at least be happy about it. The people of the 4 regions and 9 worlds will be punished for their support of Ling Xiao. All of you will die. Ghost Emperor Tianyong's declaration caused the eyes of countless martial artists to lose their luster. They even lost their fighting spirit. It was as if they could already see the outcome of this battle. Death. Moreover, death became meaningless. They were not afraid of death, but they were really afraid that their deaths would be meaningless. The result of letting their thoughts run wild was a severe decrease in their fighting strength. Chapter 4998. Why hasn't Ling Xiao appeared? Didn't he say he would protect us? Is he going to lead us to defeat Lotus Flower? Why hasn't he appeared in such a crucial battle? That liar, he lied to us. We're fighting hard here, and he's probably hiding somewhere like a coward. Shut up. What nonsense are you talking about? Ling Xiao went to deal with Lotus Flower. Are you all 3 years old? Do you have to rely on others' protection to survive? Ling Xiao has already stalled the strongest enemy for us. Are you still asking for more? A bunch of cowards. That's right, our deaths aren't worthless. As long as we stall these people, they won't have any hope when Ling Xiao kills Lotus Flower. We're not fighting for Ling Xiao. We're fighting for ourselves, for our families. Put away your crying and sobbing. We haven't lost yet. Look, Ling Xiao's woman, Yu Fanghua, is still fighting. Had she ever flinched at all? Look, Ling Xiao's brother, Prince Jin, is also fighting with all his might. Did he have the slightest hesitation? How can we behave like this? In the end, the voice of perseverance prevailed. Everyone's morale recovered a little, and so did their fighting spirit. However, if this continued, once Yu Fanghua was defeated, the same thing would happen again. Yu Fanghua desperately defended against Ghost Emperor Tianming and the Black Fiend Evil Dragon's attacks. There was no fear on her face. Even though she was covered in wounds, there was only determination in her eyes. Although she felt her consciousness fading, she still didn't retreat. Die. Your struggle is futile. Ghost Emperor Tianming and the Black Fiend Evil Dragon suddenly attacked Yu Fanghua from different directions. This attack was meant to kill Yu Fanghua. Yu Fanghua was different from him. She didn't have an immortal body. Once she died, she couldn't be revived. This made him very excited. Everyone looked at this scene in despair. Was it really going to be over? Roar! Suddenly, a thunderous roar resounded in the sky. A golden dragon suddenly descended, grabbed the Dark Fiend Evil Dragon's neck with its claws, and lifted it up. There was another person standing on the golden colossal dragon. This person also acted instantly and placed a large number of vines in front of Yu Fanghua. He had blocked Ghost Emperor Tianho's killing blow. The sudden appearance of the two powerhouses caused the battle situation to change instantly. Everyone looked at the two figures. They were too familiar with each other. The golden dragon was Ling Xiao's brother Long Qin. The other person was the saintess of the Saintess Palace, Cold Plum, who called Ling Xiao master. They were definitely the two most powerful reinforcements. You two are finally here. If you came any later, Boss wouldn't have been able to see sister-in-law. Xiao Jin shouted excitedly. There's nothing we can do about it. The Savage Beast region is too far from here. Even if we rush, we'll still be the last to arrive. Fortunately, I arrived in time. The Golden Dragon said as he fought the Dark Fiend Evil Dragon. It's good that you're here. Yu Fanghua smiled and swallowed a healing elixir. While Cold Plum blocked Ghost Emperor Tianho for her, she began to make use of the time to recover. The healing elixir that Ling Xiao gave her was amazingly effective. In just 2 to 3 minutes, she had basically recovered. Now it's time to end this battle. Yu Fanghua and Cold Plum looked at each other and prepared to join forces to deal with Ghost Emperor Tianho. As long as they could kill this most powerful enemy, this battle would come to an end. The martial artists around them, who were originally lifeless, were now filled with vigor and excitement. At this moment, their morale was high. Their fighting spirit was high. They had heard the names of Long Qin and Cold Plum too many times. In addition, there was Prince Jin and Yu Fanghua. Among these powerful people, only Ling Xiao was not present. They believed that these 4 people would definitely be able to guide them to victory on behalf of Ling Xiao. Kill. It's time to counterattack. Kill all these bastards. Kill. 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 Sometimes people were like this. When they lost hope, they would lose their fighting spirit. However, once they found a glimmer of hope, their fighting spirit would increase exponentially. After all, no one wanted to lose. Lung Mei and Long Chen's arrival could be said to be a great surprise. Ghost Emperor Tianhou did not expect them to arrive so quickly, so early. Cold Plum and Yu Fenghua began to close in on Ghost Emperor Tianhou. Both of their targets were the guy who had merged with the 3 departed spirit fruit trees. None of them were a match for Ghost Emperor Tianhou individually. However, if they joined forces, the situation would be different. After the initial panic, Ghost Emperor Tianhou quickly regained his composure. She's just a little girl. Do you really think that there's hope? With just the 2 of you, what can you do to me? I, Ghost Emperor Tianhou, am the most outstanding being created by my master other than the great Devil Emperor. Can the 2 of you kill me? Ghost Emperor Tianhou sneered and activated his god energy again. He wanted to kill the 2 women in front of him. He wanted to show those idiots who were trying to usher in hope that the end of the world would still be the end of the world. Those idiots still did not have any hope. Cold Plum and Yu Fenghua did not make a sound. They only attacked silently. Cold Plum's ancient war tree and Ghost Emperor Tianhou's departed spirit fruit trees were entangled. A terrifying force was absorbing the energy in Ghost Emperor Tianhou's body. At this moment, Ghost Emperor Tianhou finally felt fear. However, he thought that Cold Plum alone could not restrain him. He could still escape. However, he forgot that he was not only facing Cold Plum, but also another opponent. Yu Fenghua rose into the sky. She released her eternal shrine. The huge shrine came crashing down again and again. The pitiful Ghost Emperor Tianming would grow weaker every time he was smashed. He even felt his body slowly freezing. Ah! At this moment, a scream came from afar. The Beast Emperor was killed. After trying many different methods, Xiao Jin finally killed the Beast Emperor. The terrifying 9 underworld yellow springs golden light completely destroyed the Beast Emperor's departed spirit essence. The Beast Emperor could no longer be revived. After killing the Beast Emperor, Xiao Jin did not stop. He immediately pounced on Ghost Emperor Tianhou. This guy was the most dangerous. If he could not kill him in time, it would be very troublesome. His 9 underworld yellow springs golden light could restrain all departed spirits. The poor Ghost Emperor Tianhou could not free himself from Cold Plum and Yu Fenghua's attacks. He could not even dodge. He could only become Xiao Jin's target. It was completely destroyed by the golden light of the 9 underworld's yellow springs. The essence of death was completely shattered by the golden light. The death of Ghost Emperor Tianhou and the Beast Emperor basically announced the failure of the departed spirit's invasion of the Eternal Palace. What happened next was just the finishing touches. Xiao Jin, Yu Fenghua, and Cold Plum all joined the battle to kill the departed spirit army. With the addition of these 3 forces, the first thing they wanted was lightless sun and moon's life. Chapter 4999. I don't want to die yet. I can't die yet. Lunisolar, lightless, looked at the sky helplessly. He was a genius from Heaven's Wall City, but he ended up like this. It was a tragedy. Tu Yao. I was very close to Lunisolar Lightless. When she saw his dead face, an unprecedented fear rose in her heart. She thought she would definitely win before. So, she didn't consider the consequences of failure. Now that she realized that she might die, she began to feel fear. Spare me, Aunt Choshue. I know I was wrong. I know I was wrong. They forced me. I didn't mean it. Tu Yao shouted desperately. But even if Yu Choshue was soft-hearted, but Little Gold wouldn't be soft-hearted. Blazing flames engulfed Tu Yao, burning her alive. Little Gold had followed Ling Xiao for so many years, so she knew Ling Xiao's temper very well. A woman as vicious and merciless as Tu Yao must be killed. One must know that this woman wanted to destroy the entire Eternal Emperor domain. At that time, hundreds of millions of cultivators would be affected. Although they didn't succeed, this war took away tens of thousands of brave cultivators' lives. This was a heavy debt of blood that had to be repaid by Tu Yao. When Tu Yao was killed, Long Chen's battle was also over. He transformed into a golden dragon and bit the Black Fiend Evil Dragon to death. He also absorbed the dragon crystal of the Black Fiend Evil Dragon, which allowed his cultivation to rise again in a short period of time. These experts were all annihilated. They were all thrown into the process of killing the ghoul army. Every single one of them was capable of unleashing large-scale, destructive skills. Numbers were not a problem for them at all. In just half an hour, the ghoul army of tens of millions was completely destroyed. The battle was over. A dangerous conspiracy was resolved just like that. Speaking of which, they had to thank Yu Chen for the information. If it wasn't for Yu Chen's timely information, the Eternal Palace would have become a purgatory. At that time, it would probably take 10 times more effort to defeat the ghoul army. There would definitely be 10 times more losses. Now that the matter here is settled, we should hurry to the graveyard of the gods to help Boss, right? Little Gold suggested. It will take at least 3 days to reach the graveyard of the gods from here. I'm afraid we won't make it. Yu Fanghua was a little worried. No matter what, we have to try. What if Master needs us? Cold Plum said, That's true. Now that the matters in the 4 realms and 9 realms have been settled, only the graveyard of the gods and the world of souls are under the control of that lotus flower. This would be the final battle. Even if it's over by the time we get there, we still have to go. Yu Fanghua nodded. Long Chin, what are you thinking about? Why are you not saying anything? Xiao Jin asked. I'm thinking about that dark fiend evil dragon. That thing is clearly an undead colossal dragon created from dragon crystals. As far as I know, there is only one person who has mastered this technique, and that is the dragon shaman. Long Chen frowned and said, It's very likely that the dragon priest has already joined forces with the lotus flower. He even took away the dragon crystals of the 9 dragons. It was the Black Fiend Evil Dragon that had been killed. There should be 8 more of these dragons. They are the War Dragon, the Berserk Dragon, the Armored Dragon, the Mega Dragon, the Taotai Dragon, the Flame Dragon, the Great Earth Dragon, and the Pishio Dragon. Of these 9 dragons, the Black Fiend Evil Dragon's dragon crystal was the first to be found. That's why it was the first to be created. I don't know if the other 8 dragons have been created. However, I'm worried that the dragon shaman and the lotus flower have joined forces, and there's a very high chance that they've created these 8 dragons. Long Chen's explanation was very detailed. This was the first time many people had heard this shocking news. It turned out that the divine dragon temple of the Savage Beast region had this kind of technology. It was too shocking. If that's the case, then all the more reason we should hurry over and help. If the Black Fiend Evil Dragon is already so powerful, the other 8 dragons definitely won't be weak. Xiao Jin said, There's no time to lose. Let's set off immediately. However, the 4 realms and 9 realms defensive line cannot fall into chaos. Aunt Qiushui, Fire Emperor, please take charge of the situation. You are Ling Zhao's most trusted people. Yu Fanghua looked at the Fire Emperor and Yu Qiushui. The 2 of them nodded at the same time. Don't worry and go. Sai, if we were a bit stronger, we'd want to help too. Unfortunately, with our current strength, we'd only be a burden if we went. However, we'll take good care of the 4 realms and 9 realms defensive line. We definitely won't let anything happen. Yu Fanghua didn't hesitate any longer. She shot into the air and left. Xiao Jin, Cold Plum, and Long Chin followed closely behind her. Looking at the 4 young experts leaving, Yi Zichen sighed. The experts couldn't help but sigh with emotion. As expected, the new generation excels the old. Each generation is stronger than the last. They hadn't expected that the 4 realms and 9 realms would have to rely on these youngsters to save them. They could only play support. Ling Xiao didn't know what was happening here. He'd already stepped into the necropolis of the gods without hesitation. This was his second time here. Last time, he'd obtained the Crimson Blood Demon Sword and inherited the Massacre Emperor's legacy. Only a few days had passed since then. He didn't expect to revisit this place. But this time, things had become more complicated. Trouble is here. Get ready. Although I knew this path wouldn't be easy, I didn't expect Lotus Flower to be so impatient. Not long after Ling Xiao entered the necropolis of the gods, he felt a strong murderous aura coming toward him. Although the other party had taken great care to hide the murderous aura, it was still too strong. It still couldn't escape from his Tai Chi eye. What level are they at? Ling Xiao asked. Middle stage, 7th level divine body realm. Ling Xiao's Tai Chi eye was very useful. Not only could he feel the other party's murderous aura, but he could also see through their cultivation. Thank goodness. How many people are there? Bai Yi heaved a sigh of relief and asked. 3 people, but they don't feel like dead souls. They probably haven't eaten the heart of an expert. Ling Xiao said it's strange. They haven't eaten the heart of an expert and haven't become dead souls. Why would they work for Lotus Flower? Could it be for money? While they were talking in the dark necropolis of the gods, there were 3 people standing in the shadows. They were all wearing masks, which had the appearance of ferocious beasts drawn on them. One was a tiger, one was a lion, and one was a scorpion. The tiger looked at the 3 people who had stopped in the distance and couldn't help but frown. We've already hidden our auras, but he still found us. This kid is really like what Lotus Flower said. He's really not easy to deal with. Us 3 brothers can't fall. No matter what, since he's already found us, we have to take action. There's no point in hiding anymore. If they escape, then we won't be able to get the benefits that Lotus Flower promised. The lion mask said. The tiger-masked man became excited at the thought of the benefits Emperor Lianhua had promised him. Although this was a taboo for assassins, he couldn't control himself. Chapter 5000. Boss, the 3 of us are assassins that make countless people tremble in fear. Savage blood sword, black blood saber, and heart-piercing stab. In the past, we carried out our missions alone, but we have never failed. This time, with the 3 of us working together, how can we be afraid of this kid? Let's go. Scorpion Mask seemed to be somewhat disdainful of Ling Xiao. Okay, let's do it immediately. Leave that kid to 3rd brother. 2nd brother, you deal with that old man. As for the other expert from Heaven's Wall City, I'll deal with him. Tiger Mask ordered. Yes. In an instant, the 3 of them attacked at the same time. The 3 brothers belonged to the top assassin organization of the 4 regions and 9 worlds, Dark God Palace. Ling Xiao was not unfamiliar with Dark God Palace at all. When he was in Divine Phoenix Continent, he had encountered assassins from Dark God Palace's branch. However, not only did the other party fail, but they were also killed by him. Even the branch was destroyed. It was likely that the Dark God Hall hated Ling Xiao to the core. This was also the reason why Ling Xiao did not dare to use his previous martial skills when he reincarnated to the Black Tortoise Continent. Once he was discovered by Dark God Palace, his life would be gone. Speaking of which, he did not only offend Dark God Palace. There was also Water God Palace and Ghost God Palace. In the past, the Sacred Dynasty state religion had 12 temples. Ever since the Sacred Dynasty was destroyed, these forces had all gone their own way. However, they were all terrifyingly powerful. It could be said that their forces covered the entire mystic world. If Ling Xiao wanted to reincarnate in the future, he would have to be careful. Let's get back to the topic. Savage blood sword, black blood saber, and heart-piercing stab could be said to be the top assassins of Dark God Palace in the 4 regions and 9 worlds. They were paid to do things and never cared about the fate of the 4 regions and 9 worlds. Even if they knew that the 4 regions and 9 worlds might be destroyed by Lotus Flower, they really did not care at all. Because to them, money and missions were the most important. This was why they chose to help Lotus Flower. However, from this point, it could be seen that Lotus Flower really did not have anyone he could use. Otherwise, why would he contact people from Dark God Palace to attack? The moment the 3 of them made their moves, one could see how powerful they were. The incomplete blood sword was relatively thin, but its movements were extremely nimble. His swordsmanship was also extremely outstanding. With a thrust of his sword, the entire sky was filled with sword light. The most terrifying thing was that this sword light actually contained an extremely powerful explosive force. Wherever the sword light landed, everything exploded. Even if it couldn't stab the enemy to death, it could still blast the enemy to death. This was his famous ultimate skill, 10,000 miles thunderclap sword. The black blood saber was slightly weaker than the incomplete blood sword, but his strength was not to be underestimated. This fellow was using a saber, but it wasn't the kind that was wide open. He was using a pair of sabers, and the sabers were only a foot long. As he brandished his saber, his powerful saber technique could form black saber chi. It permeated the entire space, blinding everyone's vision. He could only suffer the laceration of his saber chi. This saber technique was his famous consummate skill, the black sand saber technique. The last person was ranked last among the 3 brothers. However, he was ranked second on the Dark God Palace's assassin leaderboard. His martial soul was a scorpion, but it was a very special scorpion called Ice Spike. In fact, their masks were carved from their martial souls. The heart-piercing spear's weapon was a dagger. The 2 daggers were like ice crystals. Combined with the Ice Spike martial soul, it could actually completely freeze an area of 1 kilometer. However, this was definitely not a simple freeze. The ice released by his Ice Spike was extremely corrosive. A light touch would cause the body to rot. Only those who had experienced it personally would understand how terrifying it was. And this move was not an ordinary martial skill, but a martial soul array. Ice Tooth of Annihilation. Ling Xiao naturally couldn't tell what this was. Although his Tai Chi eye was very powerful, he was still young and had seen limited things. On the other hand, Bai Yi, who had lived in the 4 regions and 9 worlds for a long time, was extremely familiar with the heart-piercing spear. Oh no, this is the Dark God Palace's top assassin, the heart-piercing spear's martial soul array, Ice Tooth of Annihilation. Quick, Ling Xiao, quickly make a move and shatter those ice fangs. Once they form an area of effect. Once they're formed, the 3 of us will have to pay a heavy price, even if we win. The reason why Bai Yi didn't attack was that he knew his attack wasn't as good as Ling Xiao's. Moreover, he had to preserve his strength and prepare to die together with the lotus flower. All right, you deal with the black sand saber technique. Qin Huang, you block the 1,000-mile thunderbolt sword. I'll break this so-called Ice Tooth of Annihilation. After receiving Bai Ye's reminder, Ling Xiao quickly gave the order. At the same time, he didn't dare to be negligent. He immediately entered the Beast God's body state. With his current cultivation, he had to enter the Beast God's body state to be able to defeat the 3 of them. After all, the 3 of them were mid-stage 7th-level divine physique echelon. Moreover, they weren't ordinary mid-stage 7th-level divine physique echelon. They were all terrifying killers who had experienced hundreds of battles. They killed people like flies and were very experienced. At the same time, Ling Xiao took out the reverse god sword. He suddenly released the most powerful reverse god arts, 7-word style. A huge sword ray slashed towards the ice teeth. At the same time, Qin Huang and Bai Yi also attacked. Both of them had their own way of fighting. Although they weren't as strong as Ling Xiao, they had the ability to fight against the 3 top killers. A 5-clawed golden dragon appeared behind Qin Huang. The golden dragon rolled. The weapon in his hand also turned golden. The violent attack directly blasted towards the 1,000-mile thunderbolt sword. This was a completely head-on battle. There was no hesitation. It was a battle of strength. Whoever was stronger would win this battle. Bai Ye's attack was also very simple. To him, the best way to attack was to simplify the complexity of the attack. Ling Xiao had always thought that the great Emperor Palace was his Dharma treasure. Only today did he realize that the great Emperor Palace was actually Bai Ye's martial soul. The great Emperor Palace appeared behind Bai Yi. Every Rubik's cube opened a crack. Dense rays of light shot towards the black blood saber's black sand saber technique. It filled the entire space. It was Ling Xiao's first time seeing such an attack from Bai Yi. He felt that Bai Yi had increased the power of his clone to 90%. Only 10% was left in the great Emperor Palace. Therefore, the power of this attack was much greater than before. Qin Huang and Bai Ye's attacks were all effective. The thunderbolt, sword, and black sand saber technique were both broken. Ling Xiao's reverse god art certainly didn't disappoint. 7 sword lights cut 7 cracks in the heart-piercing, thorns, ice, tooth diagram. As a result, the power couldn't close in. It became unable to hurt the 3 of them. They are actually much stronger than what was mentioned in the information. We can't hold back. Attack with all our strength. After the 3 top killers attacked, they all realized that Ling Xiao, Qin Huang, and Bai Yi were much stronger than what was mentioned in the information. But they were only slightly surprised, and they had already made up their minds. For the sake of the Emperor weapon with 10 dragon patterns that Lotus Flower promised them, they didn't hesitate to be seriously injured. Chapter 5001. The 3 top assassins activated 100% of their divine essence at the same time and attacked again. Ling Xiao smiled coldly and directly pounced at the strongest of the 3, Heart-Piercing Spike. It was the guy wearing the scorpion mask. Although Heart-Piercing Spike was the strongest and most dangerous of the 3, his overall strength was still inferior to him. Therefore, this battle would end after getting rid of this person first. Ling Xiao's choice in battle was basically made according to the situation at the time. Sometimes he would deal with the weaker target first. Sometimes he would directly kill the strongest target. In short, he would try his best to unleash his combat strength to the greatest effect. Stinking brat, you're courting death. Heart-Piercing Spike snorted coldly, feeling angry at Ling Xiao's barbaric attack, because he felt that he was being underestimated. Although he was the 3rd brother of the 3 brothers, he was ranked 2nd in the Assassin Hall. However, he was ranked 2nd on the Dark God Palace's Assassin Leaderboard. He was even stronger than his eldest brother and 2nd brother. Amidst the angry roar, Ice Spike attacked again. The terrifying Ice Fong of Destruction bloomed again. It turned into countless ice spikes and covered Ling Xiao. Dark God Hall's number 2 assassin, Heart-Piercing Spike, is only SOSO. Facing Heart-Piercing Spike's attack, Ling Xiao had long been prepared for it. When the Ice Fong of Destruction completely covered him, in that instant he used Time Stop. With a punch, the surroundings completely fell into Time Stop. Although the range was not more than 3 meters, it was enough for him to get close to Heart-Piercing Spike. The sharp edge of the sword shot towards the Heart-Piercing Spike while time was still. The moment Time Stop disappeared, Ling Xiao's sword light had already pierced through Heart-Piercing Spike's protective divine essence. However, at this moment, Heart-Piercing Spike was wrapped in a ball of golden light. When the sword light hit the golden light, it was actually unable to pierce through. When looking closely, one could see that there was a gem on Heart-Piercing Spike's forehead. The golden light just now came from this gem. It was a rare Emperor weapon with 9 dragon patterns. It was used for defense. It could be said that an ordinary Emperor weapon with 10 dragon patterns might not be able to pierce through it. However, Ling Xiao had more than one emperor weapon with dragon patterns. Moreover, his emperor weapons were extremely rare. The Void God's sword was blocked. Ling Xiao instantly summoned the Crimson Blood Demon Sword and stabbed it again. Cracks had appeared on the golden light, and it looked like it would collapse at any moment. This scene terrified the heart-piercing Thorn. It had been a long time since he had met such a terrifying opponent. Only now did he realize that it was foolish of him to underestimate this enemy. Bloodstain technique. Escape. The moment the golden light shattered, Ling Xiao's sword light pierced through the heart-piercing Thorn's head. The heart-piercing stinger had no choice but to use his ultimate escape skill. Even if an assassin's combat prowess was not as good as the other party's, their escape methods were still better than the other party's. That way, he could ensure that he could escape if he couldn't win. In this way, he could repeatedly harass the enemy and tire them out before finally killing them. Let's go too. Broken Blood Sword and Black Blood Saber saw that their third brother had left and knew that they couldn't win this battle. Left with no choice, he turned around and fled. Ling Xiao was unable to stop the heart-piercing Thorn. So how could he let the two of them escape? Of course, he had to vent his anger on the two of them. Universe of Tyrants. Darkness enveloped the entire space. Broken Blood Sword and Black Blood Saber instantly lost their way. What? The two assassins didn't expect to be so frightened and instantly lost their composure. Ling Xiao used the 7-word style of the god-defying art to instantly kill Broken Blood Sword. Qin Huang and Bai Yi worked together to kill Black Blood Saber at the same time. The 3 top-notch assassins worked together, but unfortunately one escaped and the other 2 were killed in the end. This was the fate of going against Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao dared to barge into this place because he thought that he had enough strength. He could even defeat the great Devil Emperor, who was at the peak of the 7th level of the divine physique echelon. So why would he be afraid of 3 assassins? As expected of assassins, they have a lot of good stuff on them. Ling Xiao took the Broken Blood Sword and Black Blood Saber storage rings. There were also their treasures. The 2 of them had emperor weapons with 9 dragon patterns on them because they were ranked 3rd and 4th among the assassins of the Dark God Palace. They were also close to 1,000 supreme-grade spirit stones. There were also many rare medicinal herbs and formation materials. These were all urgently needed by Ling Xiao. Recently, his cultivation had been breaking through consecutively, and each time he needed supreme-grade spirit stones. Formations also needed supreme-grade spirit stones to unleash the full power of the formations. It wasn't that he wanted to make a fortune, but that other people insisted on giving him money. It seemed like he had no choice but to spend it. It was a pity that heart-piercing Thorn ran away. Otherwise, there would probably be more good stuff in that guy's storage ring. Let's go. I believe that heart-piercing Thorn won't dare to attack again. Let's hurry and find Lotus Flower. Ling Xiao called out to Bai Yi and Qin Huang, and the 3 of them continued forward. They thought that the road ahead would be very difficult. However, they realized that many of the traps and enemies along the way had been killed. Judging from the wounds on their bodies, it should have been done by the leader of the Beast Deities Alliance. Although that senior was turned into an undead spirit by Lotus Flower in the end, he had completed most of his scouting mission. They didn't come in vain. This was naturally an extremely lucky thing for Ling Xiao. In the necropolis of the gods, the most famous was the tomb of the Divine King. It was rumored that a divine king of eternal divine nation was buried here. The majestic tomb was like an enormous palace. Emperor Lianhua, on the other hand, treated this place as his stronghold. Ling Xiao discovered the existence of this mausoleum from a very far place. The people of this world were truly unfair. Some people had to sleep on the streets while they were alive. Some people, on the other hand, could live in such magnificent palaces after they died. It was truly a moving sight. Although the necropolis of the gods was filled with tombs, there was no feeling of death here. It was still a scene of prosperity. Even Emperor Lianhua looked a lot more sacred when he stood there. Little fellow, we finally meet again. It's only been a few months. You actually have the ability to challenge me now. I can't help but admire your talent and cultivation speed. You flatter me. Lotus Flower is the real deal. In just a few short months, you've caused chaos in the 4 realms and 9 worlds. I really do admire you. You're quite capable. Ling Xiao mocked. Little brother, you really don't give this old man face. Speaking of which, it's all thanks to this old man that you're so strong today. Great Emperor Lianhua laughed. I really do have to thank you. Your stupidity and arrogance made you such a strong enemy long ago. Don't you think that's very interesting? Ling Xiao smiled. That mouth of yours is unforgiving. But no matter, I'll make him shut up soon. Lotus Flower sneered. You killed 2 people when you came in just now, didn't you? Their brothers want to settle the score with you. So before you kill me, you should take care of the matter at hand. Chapter 5002. Ling Xiao frowned. The heart-piercing thorn didn't escape and actually returned to Lotus Flower. It seemed that this person's hatred for him wasn't small. He probably became an undead. His thoughts were quickly confirmed. Someone walked out from behind Lotus Flower. It was indeed the heart-piercing thorn, but the current one was obviously much stronger than before. He probably ate the heart of a powerhouse. Luckily, it didn't surpass the peak of the 7th level divine body realm. Ling Xiao breathed a sigh of relief when he saw the heart-piercing thorn. This heart-piercing thorn strength was on par with the great Devil Emperor. No, to be exact, it should be slightly stronger. Because he was an assassin, he had more experience in killing people than the great Devil Emperor. His combat skills were also more exquisite. He had to use all his strength to kill this person. Luckily, he was about to break through. His cultivation, C, was about to enter the next stage. Perhaps this battle would help him achieve his goal. You really have a wicked sense of humor. Turning others into your puppets to fight for you. How abominable. I really hate you more and more. Ling Xiao's expression was calm, but his eyes revealed endless killing intent. He had met many people who deserved to die. Without a doubt, this Lotus Flower was definitely at the top of the list. He had to kill him. Ha ha! I, Lotus Flower, have never been afraid of being hated by others. Because I'm a genius. What I want to do is to make others hate me. All right, even if you want to hate me, you have to wait until you survive. Heart-piercing thorn. Kill him and take revenge for your brother. Lotus Flower smiled and waved his hand lightly. He let the heart-piercing thorn kill Ling Xiao, but Lotus Flower didn't have the intention to leave. It was obvious that this guy didn't have enough confidence in killing Ling Xiao. Therefore, he planned to let the strengthened, heart-piercing thorn test Ling Xiao on the spot, so that he could be prepared for battle. Just as Lotus Flower finished speaking, the heart-piercing thorn already moved. The ice-toothed diagram of annihilation was much more powerful and terrifying than before. In that instant, Ling Xiao was actually unable to completely block it. Nearly 10 ice fangs pierced into his body. Fortunately, his physical body was strong enough. It forcefully blocked the ice teeth, preventing them from penetrating too deeply. Of course, this injury was also part of Ling Xiao's plan. He could feel how powerful the Lotus Flower was, so he had to become even more powerful. And the only way to speed up his cultivation was to risk his life. It was fine as long as he didn't die. It was because of the heart-piercing stab that Ling Xiao successfully opened the door to a breakthrough. He advanced from the mid-4th level of the Divine Body Realm to the late 4th level of the Divine Body Realm. His battle prowess had once again increased by more than 10 times. His confidence in killing the Lotus Flower had also increased. Ling Xiao, you'd best be serious. Else, if I am displeased, I will immediately kill the demonic flood dragon. In any case, you've already walked right into the trap and came here. I can take my D-Zune physique out of your body any time. Lotus Flower threatened coldly. Save it, old man. You want to threaten me? If you have the ability, you can try and see if you can take back your D-Zune physique. Don't worry, I won't destroy it. I will merge it into my body. I will make your soul lose the chance to control it completely. Ling Xiao sneered. You'd better not threaten me again. I don't like being threatened. If you piss me off, I can really do anything. Lotus Flower's face was gloomy. Once again, he felt that it was troublesome. Ling Xiao was simply unmoved by force or persuasion. Moreover, he was so smart that it was a little crazy. He could instantly grasp his weakness and counterattack. Although he was furious, he had to admit that he had lost this bickering. He had lost completely. Defeat the heart-piercing thorn first. Lotus Flower snorted coldly and didn't say anything else. Ling Xiao didn't bother with him anymore. In order to not expose his trump card, the battle between him and the heart-piercing thorn was really difficult. It was also very dangerous. However, after an hour of fierce battle, he still won despite being covered in injuries. During this process, he didn't use time stop or time reversal. He didn't even use the Sky Tyrant Martial Soul. He relied completely on a head-on battle and his exquisite skills to win. A look of disdain flashed across Lotus Flower's eyes. You actually want to challenge me with such strength? Am I overthinking things? In his opinion, Ling Xiao wasn't worth paying too much attention to. Although Ling Xiao had defeated the heart-piercing thorn, the gap between them was still very big. It seemed that it was time to carry out the final plan. Come in. Lotus Flower didn't stop them anymore. Instead, he waved his hand and let Ling Xiao enter the Divine King's mausoleum. The Divine King's mausoleum had been completely transformed by Lotus Flower into his palace. The coffins in the mausoleum still existed. It looked gloomy and eerie. However, the other party was Lotus Flower and the Death Spirit Emperor. It was very suitable for them to live here. The current Lotus Flower looked like a handsome young man from the outside. Ling Xiao could feel that he had already fused the Demon Sovereign's body and the Divine Sovereign's body. Only the Sovereign's body was left. His strength had increased a lot. Ling Xiao's Tai Chi, I couldn't see through it. Qin Huang and Bai Yi felt a huge pressure. Bai Yi even suspected that his delusional wish to perish together with this terrifying enemy was just a dream. I've always wanted to kill you. But no matter how hard I try, I can't kill you. Perhaps fate will let the two of us meet again. I'm still willing to give you a chance. I hope you can cherish it. Lotus Flower said indifferently. Until now, he hadn't completely given up on recruiting Ling Xiao. Because in the repeated confrontations, Lotus Flower realized that Ling Xiao might be his best successor. This kid's talent was too outstanding. If he could become his disciple, what were eternal divine nations enemies to them if they worked together? I'm not interested in listening to your nonsense. Where's the serpent soul? Ling Xiao went straight to the point. You should know why I'm here. Give me the serpent's soul, and I'll give you the sovereign's body. Qin Huang and Bai Yi both looked shocked when they heard this. However, they didn't say anything. They believed that Ling Xiao would take care of everything. You really surprise me. You want to trade the serpent's soul for my sovereign's body? I'm not dreaming, am I? Sometimes things were too easy for people to be suspicious, especially smart people. They were bound to be suspicious when faced with this kind of situation. Lotus Flower was no exception. He didn't believe that Ling Xiao would trade his sovereign's body for the serpent's soul. The serpent's soul was nothing to him. It was completely useless. If he really wanted to trade, he wouldn't have hesitated. However, he was wondering if Ling Xiao had some sort of scheme. Otherwise, how could he have one so easily? Chapter 5003. What? Even the all-powerful and arrogant Emperor Lianhua knows fear? Aren't you afraid of being laughed at? Isn't this what you've always wanted? Ling Xiao mocked. Now that I've given it all to you, you're afraid to accept it? Are you afraid? Lotus Flower chuckled softly. I'm just being cautious. Let's not talk about that. I hope you'll consider my offer. I'm sure you already know who I am, don't you? I come from eternal divine nation and am one of its great emperors. As long as you follow me, I can spare the people of the 4 regions and 9 worlds. I'll take you to eternal divine nation. We'll be able to develop even more there. A cultivator there can obtain the same amount of energy as tens of millions of cultivators in the 4 regions and 9 worlds. What do you think? It's a good deal for you, isn't it? Your family and friends won't die, and neither will the people of the 4 regions and 9 worlds. The ones who will die will be those cultivators who have nothing to do with you, right? Emperor Lianhua's sudden words took Bai Yi by surprise. As the former Golden Emperor, Bei was a little tempted. Wasn't it his greatest wish to bring peace to the 4 regions and 9 worlds? If he were Ling Xiao, he would have chosen to sacrifice himself. Unfortunately, he wasn't. Ling Xiao wouldn't risk his life for no good reason. Are you done? Ling Xiao looked at Lotus Flower. Then I'll tell you my choice, and it'll solve the problem once and for all. I'll kill you. Kill? Ha ha ha, don't joke around. So many experts couldn't kill me. They could only seal me away. Do you think you can kill me? Great Emperor Lianhua laughed. That's right. I know your weakness very well. Others can't kill you, but I can. Ling Xiao said coldly, Aren't all of you from eternal divine nation afraid of the ancient race? The ancient race. Emperor Lianhua's expression turned extremely ugly when he heard this. How do you know about the ancient race? You don't need to know that. In short, you need to know that I have the ability to kill you. Now it's up to you. Are you going to leave the 4 realms and return to your eternal divine nation? Or do you want to fight to the death here? Ling Xiao said with an indifferent expression. You are lying. I was almost fooled by you. Perhaps you have only heard of the existence of the ancient race. You haven't even seen a cultivator from eternal divine nation. How dare you try to deceive me? Lotus Flower suddenly laughed and said loudly. Ling Xiao was still expressionless. It's up to you to believe it or not. Lotus Flower's expression was a little ugly. This Ling Xiao was really too difficult to deal with. He didn't even know if he was the evil leader or if Ling Xiao was the evil leader. Logically speaking, this kind of hot-blooded youth should only be shouting hot-bloodedly. Logically speaking, this kind of hot-blooded youth should only be fooled by him. But what was going on now? Sometimes he wondered if there was a powerful old monster residing in Ling Xiao's body. That was why he had such a calm reaction. He didn't understand. Ling Xiao was hot-blooded but not brainless. Only a brainless idiot would recklessly attack a powerful enemy without any strategy at all. Only a brainless idiot would be infuriated by a few words. Ling Xiao, if you don't agree to my request, I'll give you my word. The beings of the 4 realms and 9 worlds will become the source of my energy. I will use them to recover my cultivation until I reach my peak. Why do you care about them? To the strong, feelings were a luxury. As for the beings of the 4 realms and 9 worlds, they are lowly ants and livestock to begin with. You may not know this, but the people here choose to sacrifice the living to the gods of eternal divine nation. If you follow me, you will become their god. Why do you care about the position of ruler of the 4 realms and 9 worlds? God, ha? Ha ha! Aren't you all as lowly as ants under the threat of the ancient races? Being weak isn't a sin. Not having the heart to become strong is a great sin. One day, even an ant will grow into a beast that can devour the gods. All right, let's not talk about other things. Are you going to make the deal or not? Ling Xiao couldn't be bothered to talk to this guy full of twisted logic. Lotus Flower had lost his patience as well. He'd discovered that Ling Xiao wasn't going to listen to him. The two of them had completely different values. They couldn't possibly share the same pot. There was no point in saying more. All right, we'll make the deal. Lotus Flower seemed to have made up his mind. He was ready to take a gamble. Haha, aren't you afraid that I'll do something to your sovereign body now? Ling Xiao mocked. It doesn't matter. So what if you've done something to it? Give it to me. Give it to me, and I'll release the serpent's soul immediately. Lotus Flower said, Why don't you give me the serpent's soul first? I don't trust your character. Ling Xiao said calmly, All right. Lotus Flower nodded. His attitude could be considered to have checkmated Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao was a little surprised. However, he realized something in an instant. Previously, when he'd entered the mausoleum of the Divine Kings, he'd felt that something wasn't right. At this moment, he'd suddenly realized something. Lotus Flower had said so much nonsense to him just now. He was simply stalling for time to carry out a plan. This plan could prevent him, Qin Huang, and Bai Yi from leaving. However, when it came to stalling for time, wasn't he doing the same? A few days ago, the undying King Ying Hai had successfully infiltrated the graveyard of the gods and laid low, as his cultivation method was exactly the same as the aura of the dead spirits. He wasn't suspected. Of course, even so, it was still a very dangerous thing to do. Fortunately, the battle at the Heaven Sanctuary and the incident at the Palace of Eternal Life happened. This caused Lotus Flower's attention to be elsewhere. This gave the Undying King an excellent opportunity. The Undying King had found the soul of the Mo Jiao long ago. However, he'd never had the chance to seize it. However, today the opportunity had come. He'd secretly contacted Ling Xiao long ago and asked Ling Xiao to stall for time as much as possible. Otherwise, Ling Xiao wouldn't have said so much nonsense to Lotus Flower. Both sides wanted to stall for time. This matter had become interesting. Until this moment, Lotus Flower had completed his plan. Ling Xiao had also received a message from the Undying King. The soul of the Mo Jiao had been obtained. At that moment, both of them laughed. Of course, the meaning of their laughter was different. Sorry, this deal is off. The same words came from different people. Ling Xiao and Lotus Flower actually said the same thing at the same time. However, after speaking, their expressions were slightly different. Ling Xiao had long guessed that Lotus Flower had some plan. Hence, he wasn't surprised. Emperor Lianhua, on the other hand, was extremely shocked. Chapter 5004. How could Lotus Flower have known that the Undying King Ying Hai existed in the 4 regions and 9 realms? He wasn't a dead spirit, but his aura was exactly the same as one. No matter how smart he was, he had miscalculated. Ling Xiao, what do you mean? Don't you want the demonic flood dragon's soul anymore? You keep saying that you are hypocritical, but when it comes to it, you cower. What a cowardly piece of trash. Lotus Flower's state of mind was clearly out of balance. Once again, just as he was feeling confident about his plan, Ling Xiao gave him a new shock. There is no need for that. I have already obtained the demonic flood dragon's soul. Ling Xiao chuckled. A ball of white light flew over at an extremely fast speed. It entered Ling Xiao's Dongxing Emperor ring in an instant. It entered the demonic flood dragon's body. However, because it had been separated from its body for a long time, it would probably take some time for the demonic flood dragon to recover. This was already enough. Why? How could this be? Lotus Flower recognized that it was the demonic flood dragon's soul. However, that soul had already been imprisoned by him. In order to prevent Ling Xiao from snatching it away, he hadn't even dared to bring it with him. However, why? This was really too inconceivable. Don't you know? The demonic flood dragon's soul is a little special. He is a beast god martialist with a high-level beast god position. Therefore, when his soul sensed the aura of his body, it would take the initiative to return. Of course, this was nonsense. The Undying King Ying Hai had ultimately decided to stay and continue undercover. After all, no one knew whether Lotus Flower still had any trump cards. In case Ling Xiao couldn't kill Lotus Flower here, Ing Hai could still be of great use as a spy. Ling Xiao's nonsense was naturally to protect Ing Hai. Impossible. Its soul is imprisoned in the boundary. Even if it sensed its body, it wouldn't be able to escape. Lotus Flower wasn't that easy to fool. However, Ling Xiao still had a way to explain. Come back, master. Ling Xiao chose to reveal that his master was a Yuan Venerate. In any case, he was already at the peak of the 4 regions and 9 worlds. No one could harm a Yuan Venerate. So what if he knew? A powerful spiritual energy form appeared, which shocked Lotus Flower even more. I'm not afraid to tell you that although Master doesn't have a physical body, he's extremely skilled in formations. Furthermore, even in the form of spiritual energy, he could still break the formation. That barrier of yours is completely useless. Ling Xiao said indifferently. As if to illustrate this point, the Yuan Venerate set up an array formation on the spot. It was a simple fire serpent array, but its might was 100 times stronger than the fire serpent array that Lotus Flower had seen before. Then, the Yuan Venerate returned to Ling Xiao's body. Seeing Lotus Flower's shocked expression, Ling Xiao knew that his strategy had worked. The undying King Ing Hai was hidden as a trump card that could affect the outcome of the battle. I'm starting to like you more and more. I'm starting to think that you'll be the key to my conquest of eternal divine nation. Are you sure you don't want to join? Lotus Flower's slightly terrified expression gradually returned to normal. After all, he was the big boss behind the scenes. Although this matter had caught him off guard, he was still a little surprised. Although the situation had caught him off guard, he hadn't lost yet. I'm not joining. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. All right, then I'll just have to kill all of you. Lotus Flower smiled coldly. Since you've already guessed what I've just set up, why don't you guess? You probably can't guess what I've done, can you? What's so difficult about that? If I'm not mistaken, you've already sealed off the Divine King's tomb. Although I don't know how you did it. What you're going to do next is kill all of us. We can't get out anyway, right? Ling Xiao smiled. That's too scary. You're really too scary. I'd better not take you as my disciple. If you do, I'm afraid I won't even know if you sell me off one day. Lotus Flower was clearly shocked. This Ling Xiao was as quick-witted as a demon. That's right. I've already completely sealed off this place. In fact, the Divine King's tomb has been under my control from the very beginning. Every mechanism and every array here is under my control. From the moment I finished setting up, all of you no longer had the chance to leave. So what if I stole the soul of the demonic flood dragon? All I need to do is kill all of you. As he spoke, the entire Divine King's tomb suddenly began to shake violently. Those originally still coffins suddenly opened by themselves. Warriors in armor walked out from the coffins one after another. However, their eyes were lifeless, as if they were ghosts. Do you still remember where this place is? The Divine King's tomb. Why do you think I've chosen to stay here? Lotus Flower's confidence returned, filled with killing intent and madness. You've taken control of the Divine King? Ling Xiao could only guess at this result. There must be the corpse of a powerful expert in the Divine King's tomb. If Lotus Flower had taken control of him, then everything in the Divine King's tomb would be under Lotus Flower's control. That's a good guess. You're very smart. However, what's the point of that? So what if you've guessed everything? Once you're dead, there's nothing left. Lotus Flower sneered. You're so confident that you can keep us here? Ling Xiao still had an indifferent expression. I really hate that expression of yours. It's like you're always confident no matter what. Today, I'm going to completely destroy your confidence and make you understand. Everything you've done is just a futile struggle. Lotus Flower roared. Since that's the case, why don't you tell me how you've sealed off the Divine King's tomb? Ling Xiao asked. You think we're dead for sure anyway. Don't tell me You don't even have this bit of confidence? What's the harm in telling you? Lotus Flower said disdainfully, Do you still remember the dragon shaman? The dragon shaman of the divine dragon palace of the savage beast region sent me some good stuff. The thing that sealed the divine king's tomb was a huge dragon that the dragon shaman and I created together. It's called the Pai Shio dragon. What the Pai Shio dragon swallows can never be released. Even if you don't die, you'll be tortured in the Pai Shio dragon's body forever. Don't worry, you won't be alone. There are many undead here to play with you. The Pai Shio dragon. Ling Xiao's expression was as indifferent as ever. There was no trace of nervousness or panic. Emperor Lianhua couldn't help but feel annoyed. What he wanted to see the most was Ling Xiao's terrified and helpless expression. Not like this. Thank you for telling me. Ling Xiao even laughed this time. Although I don't know how powerful the Pai Shio dragon is, why do we need to find the exit? As long as we kill it, won't we be able to leave? Why should I be afraid of such a simple thing? Bai Yi, Qin Huang, prepare for battle. Let's kill Lotus Flower first. As long as we kill him, the 4 regions and 9 worlds won't have so many tribulations. You're tuning in to the Thunder Spear YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.